We are still waiting for Sam to appear. T-Roy's in the house. Hello, T-Roy.
Early for the guy that shows up late. And the one guy that can't be here is the one that's on time.
Right, let's just get these levels sorted out. So yeah, Sam will be here in a second because I was just on a Discord call with her. She's just copying over the stats of her character. She's finally come around to using pencil.
Good.
Finally. Yes, but my kid.
Kitty should be showing up.
But
too.
the kids still keep stealing my pencils.
Yeah, I was telling Sneak that we were doing our D&D game tonight, so he seemed rather interested.
Oh, cool.
So he said he's going to stop in after his stream's done.
Cool. Okay. I'm just closing down some extra stuff here. I had my second jab back on Saturday. I don't seem to have had much in the way of symptoms, apart from I've just had zero energy all week.
Ooh.
So I literally feel like I'm falling out of my arse every 5 minutes.
Hey,
And
Sam.
speaking of falling out of someone's arse, here's Scum Silver.
Try to remember which settings.
Yes. I mean, my camera doesn't look as messed up today. Dustin, you're here.
Yeah. I
He
got
snuck
in.
in.
I got in
Sneak in.
at like 20 to 4. So like 35 minutes ago. So about the same time Eric's like, I'm going to be late. I was walking in the door.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, Dustin, if you need to take breaks, just you do you. Most of this today, I think I've told you this already previously, but most of today is going to be finishing off the tomb. There's lots of little things to explore. There's lots of treasure to be found, and you will need it.
Okay.
Because the one thing that you didn't do before doing the tomb is you didn't pop down to the docks to see how much gold you would need to charter a ship. So that's really your kind of financial target in the tomb, is to get as much damn gold as you can, because you're going to need it. You're also going to need lots of extra equipment, which you'll probably have to have custom made. Right, I'm just going to go back to my stream chat for a minute,
I have a
because
friend named Omar that makes that kind of stuff.
my friend Mr. P has subscribed to my channel. I didn't even think I had that turned on.
Well, you do.
Because, I made affiliate last Saturday's stream. I got my 30th follower, and I made affiliate.
Nice.
So apparently now I'm earning money from this, and some dumbass is spending money on me. Yeah, he's not getting nudes. I know what he's thinking. He's not getting nudes. Although, I could set up an only DMs, couldn't I?
And only DMs.
Oh, now Dustin's done it, you arsehole. And because I haven't been nice to Soups, I haven't got Streamlabs set up.
No, you haven't. Not at all.
So I'll have to be nice to Soups to get all the animations and the I'm not even bothering with that. Dude, seriously, not necessary. I might if I ever figure out how to do it, I might even refund you your money.
What's not necessary though?
Subscribing.
That's part of becoming affiliate.
Yeah.
And now I got a founder's badge.
So do I. Yes, buddy. Yes.
Never take that away from me.
You can
Okay,
take
well, I
it
guess
from
I gotta
yourself.
join the crew here.
Ban.
Yeah, you gotta join the crew.
Ban.
No fans.
And there's Pikachu's. Well, thank you very much, guys.
You have a hype train. Is this your first one ever?
This is my first one ever. I've no idea what to
This
do with
makes
it.
me so happy. You just enjoy the ride, choo choo.
Oh, look at that. We completed level 1.
I'm going to have to switch on Streamlabs to do Capagen, aren't I?
I think. Well, no, isn't that Stream Elements?
This is, okay, yeah, it was one of the
It's
two.
Elements, yeah.
Yeah, because I want like an explosion of eggplant emojis everywhere.
Congratulations, you've unlocked a founder's badge for Omar's channel.
You want what?
I want an absolute explosion, like a what do you call a large group of vegetables? It's not like a pile.
Trash.
A bushel. Okay. A bushel of eggplants actually doesn't sound too bad, thinking about it. I think for the purpose of this example, I want an absolute bukkake of eggplant emojis all over the screen. So we're gonna have to get stream elements set up.
Aren't they supposed to be called Abernashes?
Oh, no.
Well, in the UK we call them aubergines, not eggplants.
Or aubergines, okay.
Yeah, we call them aubergines.
Hold on, it started raining and I have a blanket outside, no longer drying. So I'm gonna go grab that.
Okay. Let's hope they're wireless head. Oh, okay, she remembered they're not wireless headphones.
Oh, it's only raining.
And Mr. P's dumping biddies on me. Dude, seriously, you don't need to. You honestly, thank you, but you don't need to. I'll have to set up a donate button to keep me going in rum during these sessions. Okay, so we're still waiting for Eric. He's running a little bit late, but we're going to start with a little bit of a recap because last episode was quite a long one. We had a little bit of catching up to do. You're in the tomb under the Temple of Offla, and the temple priest had asked you to go and kind of give it a bit of a tidy up. Get rid of the riffraff and stuff. Kill a few rats. He undersold that tremendously. And you've had quite a few encounters. Most recently, and this was also to kind of get you a bit more used to the combat element, especially for Sam. You took on some spiders, which were nice and easy, until Mummy Spider came down and put you all back in your boxes. You then started exploring a little, and our golem went tearing down a tunnel after a little bun-bun. And the bun-bun turned out to be a jackalope, which had probably read a couple of X-Men comics in its lifetime, because it had laser eye. Bun-Bun summoned more Bun-Buns, and you were attacked by a squad, maybe, of 10 jackalopes, all with the ability to use Eldritch Blast. So there were green laser beams flying around everywhere. Sam dived into some acid, because obviously that's a great idea. Hide from the Bun-Buns. And our golem went full-on cuddle monster and squished all the Bun-Buns. I've had a chat with Eric about this, and this will affect his character going forwards. The golem is quite new to emotions, and this will be a PTSD moment for him. Continuing to search, you made your way down into the main tomb, which I'm hoping kind of came across that this wasn't part of the original building, but because the rock had sheared away and created these natural crevices that you were crawling through, you were almost into a hidden space, maybe beneath the beneath of the tomb. And you found a lich. And the lich wasn't happy. The lich was one of the former guardians of King Olaf. And you spoke to King Olaf's dead son, the little Prince Ilian. The lich had tried to harness some of the powers to make himself, well, more powerful, obviously. And it hadn't quite gone right. And he'd become an undead, a very powerful but undead wizard. You battled the lich and his his guards. It was a pretty close run battle, and by this point, I think we were at nearly 4 in the morning at this point in the game. But you were able to defeat the Lich. Sam was quite inventive, finally using her backpack of holding. Oh, bloody hell, I've got a level 1 hype train emote. What the fuck?
Whoop, whoop.
I got a puppy.
Yeah, where'd
I
Janks the
got a
puppy come
puppy.
from? Are these like the standard ones that come in with Twitch?
Well, these are the new groups because they did all the RPG ones. I think it was like last couple of months,
Oh, okay.
but it looks like they're doing animal ones this month.
I'm gonna have to get some emotes commissioned, aren't I? I'll have to have a word
Yeah,
with
you
Taff.
are.
I'll have a word with Taff next time I see him online. I'll get some emotes commissioned. They will have mustaches, and I'll probably be wearing a monocle.
Mr. Peanut.
That's
Seems-
what you should do.
Seems something like that.
Yeah, do Mr. Peanut with a mustache.
So yeah, you were able to defeat the Lich. It was a very close run thing. I've mentioned this to Sam already, but that Lich hadn't even used his most powerful attack yet. So the fact that the clerics turn undead worked, and I was amazed at that dice roll that worked.
So was I.
The fact that worked was probably the one thing that saved you in those few rounds, so that you could get yourself healed up, that you could go digging around in the bag looking for some potential solutions, and finding that holy water was exactly what you needed at that point in time. So we left the party at the you'd gone up behind the Lich's throne to a little room off to the left-hand side, and that's where the Lich was hiding, as it was trying to get as far away from you as possible. Sam's with raiding. And yeah, we are... Brian, you and Sam are standing in that room with the Lich slowly crumbling to dust in front of you. There are sacks piled up in the corners. There's gold coins strewn all over the floor. And Dustin and Eric are downstairs in the main room trying to lift one of the doors open.
All right, Brian, you and I gotta just shove as much gold as we can into this backpack of holding, because we gotta get on that damn ship. I need to go to my sugar daddy dragon.
Okay, yeah. So I guess just set the backpack on the floor, and
We
can
could pull a
scoop
Kirby.
What you'd have to do is, because with all these bags of holding, they will, if you go to put your hand in, the bag will magically stretch to fit your hand, so to speak. So if one of you just stretches it wide open, and then somebody else just stands there and just pours the gold in, just
Now,
grab
the
a
question
sack
is,
and
if I reached into my pouch, could I pull a broom out?
you could.
Just pamphlets, buddy, just pamphlets.
No, you could if there was one in there, because again, even yours, Brian, was owned by a previous owner.
Yeah.
You could find a broom, but you'd have to find a really big dustpan as well. Sam, for yours, you might want to hunt around for a wheelbarrow.
Oh, sure? There'd be a wheelbarrow in there?
You don't know what's in there. You've got no idea who owned it before you.
I mean, how else would they get there? Hey, I'm gonna search around for a shovel,
Okay,
because that'll also be necessary.
give me a d20. Just a straight d20.
Oh yeah, we need dice for this game. Haha.
You had
I've
your
got my
gold one bit
beautiful...
earlier.
Yeah, I've got my beautiful golden ones from before. I love them. It's an 18!
18. You find a shovel. In
Yay.
fact, you find 2 shovels
Brian, here you go.
Yay!
and a small wheelbarrow.
And a small wheelbarrow. Yay! Okay.
It's more like a
I
wooden
am-
cart with like one wheel
Yep.
at the front. Okay, so
I'm gonna open it up then.
you guys start shove. Are you gonna call down to the rest and let them know what's happened, or are you just gonna carry on?
Caca!
What
Okay.
was that?
See, it worked.
Apparently that was a zombie toucan they've discovered.
I'm trying to remember what show that's from. Because I remember them doing that, where they try to get their attention. They always do the crow.
I'm sure they did that in
True.
Chuck at one point. I love Chuck.
Oh,
Chuck,
could be.
Chuck was one
Yeah.
of the greatest TV shows ever.
Isn't
Yes.
that like the mystery show?
He's a secret agent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
the
he's like ultra smart.
and he works in a computer store.
Best Buy,
And
basically.
Yeah.
then he became Shazam.
That the nerdy, hyper intelligent guy working in a computer store when he's in his late teens, early 20s is exactly me when I started work. I started in a I think the Americans call it Circuit City or PC City. But I was working in a computer store while I was at university, and I was bored off my tits all the time. So anything we could do to make the day more interesting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right, okay, so Sam, between you and Brian, you're going to be shoveling gold into these wheelbarrows and loading them into your bags, your pouches and your backpacks of holding. I'll work out the amounts in a moment.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll just need to know.
Meanwhile, Dustin, you and Eric the Golem are going to be. You've heard this weird bird call. You're pretty sure there aren't any birds down here. But if there are any birds down here, you're hungry. So you decide to follow. Now that you've heard that the sounds of combat have died away and everything's gone quiet in the tomb, apart from a caw sound. You decide to you both decide to go up the steps to investigate, and you are greeted by the sight of the cleric and the rogue, both with shovels and a wheelbarrow, literally spading gold and silver coins into their tiny little bags of holding.
That is happening.
Is there
Meanwhile,
anything besides gold?
I'll get to that in a moment.
Okay.
Meanwhile, high above the disc sits Cori Celesti, the home of the gods. The four players and their unexpected guest are leaning over the game board. I don't know why you give bonus and boons to these mortals that desecrated our effigies. The lady looks over to the crocodile-headed god. Because, dear Offla, I am not so quick to anger, or short of temper as you. What transgressions they may have committed, I will allow them to atone for. The bull-headed god sneers. Let us hope they do not. I want blood from them. There is the question of the ring, says Blind Io. The lady raises an eyebrow. You disapprove? Blind Io shakes his head. It will be interesting to see where things go, as with the egg. The lady looks down at the board, studying it carefully, picking up a piece and moving it. They have much to discover, she says slowly. This will be interesting indeed. Indeed. They all look around at their guest. Sorry, just getting into the swing of things. I'll show myself out. So, you have been shoveling for some time. And I do mean some time. Long enough that you guys need to take a very long rest to fully charge up your characters, to eat, and to sleep.
I fixed it.
You change the pretty colors now?
Yeah.
Still looking green to me.
Oh, that one is. But There's one over there that's purple and now red. Now it's red.
Okay. You in total find. Where's my percentages? I need percentiles. 4,000. Sorry, no, 8,006. Sorry, 8,640 gold. Don't ask me to say that again.
It sits there.
And 45,700 silver.
Holy ball sacks.
So there's a hell of a lot more silver than there is gold, but there is a lot down there. This has been the Lich's treasure cache. Over the many hundreds of years that the Lich has been alive, he has been storing up gold and treasure, and you've basically found all of it.
Now, the conversion rate on this one, is it 10 and 10 or is it 20 silver per gold?
Standard 10 and 10.
Okay.
So 10 silver is 1 gold. Right, you also find... What do I want? I want a D12 for this one. Right, we're getting into gemstones now. You find 600 plus... Do you want the details, or do you want me to give you totals?
It doesn't matter to me. I mean, what gemstones are you talking?
Okay, so you find 5 jade gemstones worth about 100 gold pieces each. You find 20 black pearls worth 500 each.
I'm thinking it's just going to be a luck of the roll here, because there's one in particular that I'm looking for.
Well, that's why I'm rolling.
Pearl.
Wow.
You find 2 incredibly translucent star-shaped rubies worth 1,000 gold each.
I like how we just had a bunch of black pearls, though. I mean, we just got
I
a bunch
know.
of ships. We don't have to buy any now.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
You find...
You are a pirate.
You find a handful, let's call it 10, very simple agate stones with blue and brown and white stripings on them. They're worth
No.
about 10 gold pieces each.
I wasn't
How many?
totally just doing
10. So
Wow,
that's 100
that's
gold
less than I
pieces
found.
of simple agate.
I was gonna say that's less than I found this week. Well, agate hunting.
Oh, is that what you were doing?
Yeah.
And you find 1 very high quality ruby, completely transparent, almost completely transparent, worth 5,000 gold pieces.
Wow.
Moving
This
on.
ship is expensive. I can tell already.
Moving on.
We're just renting a ship or buying a ship.
At this pace, we're fucking buying it.
Okay.
Well,
Also
where are you gonna
included in
store it?
there are some random pieces of jewelry and statues and other artworks. You find a small gold idol worth about 750 gold pieces.
Do we know who this idol belongs to?
Not without examining it further.
Okay.
How many 50?
750.
Brian, is that something you would want to do at some point? Just to, when he's done, you can go back and look at it.
Yeah, I could probably do like a religion check on it to see if I
Yeah.
recognize the deity.
Okay.
You find 2 brass mugs with jade inlay, worth 250 each.
I thought for a second there you're going to say brass monkeys.
No, that would be on the boat later.
How much
I
each?
was-
No,
Sorry?
it's on a seaplane.
They're worth 250 each.
Mm.
On a seaplane.
I don't know, might be a little bit before your time.
You don't usually
There
have
was
cannons
like
on a seaplane.
Well, there was like a Indiana Jones type TV show
Right.
where the guy owned a seaplane, and I think the seaplane was called the Brass Monkey.
Okay. Do you actually...
I can't remember what the name of the show is, but
It sounds like
like-
something I would have watched, actually. Do you actually know where the term brass monkey comes from?
Not exactly.
Okay. Going back to 16th and 17th century when we had galleons with cannons, a brass monkey was a brass triangle that was set inlaid into the deck next to a cannon, and that's what the cannonballs were piled up on in a pyramid. And the reason they used brass is because the brass didn't shrink or contract when it was cold. The early days they had used iron to hold the cannonballs in place, and as the ship goes into colder weather, the iron shrinks and the cannonballs spilled everywhere. So the brass monkey is a brass triangle set into a deck of a ship to pile up cannonballs, and it doesn't contract with the change in temperature. So when people, the expression that it's as cold as brass monkeys, or it's cold enough to freeze a brass monkey, means that it's so cold that even brass, the metal that doesn't contract, begins to contract, or ice forms on the brass, but it still hasn't toppled the cannonballs. And I'm getting all fucking nautical, aren't I?
You're all good.
Right, let's see. I'm going to pick something at random from this table. Oh, okay. Right, you find, Sam, this is an expensive one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Worth
There it is.
7,500 gold pieces. A small gold jewellery box with platinum engravings and filigree.
What's inside the jewelry box?
Mm-hmm.
Do not let the rogue open it. You know what happens. You know immediately what happens as soon as the rogue opens something. If there's a lever to be pulled, the rogue is going to pull that lever.
I
Fortunately,
know.
I don't think the other 3 are going to stop the rogue from opening.
Okay. Also, on the Lich himself, you find a ceremonial dagger with a black pearl in the pommel.
Okay.
Can one of you give me a investigation roll, please? Whoever's best at investigating things.
I'm
I
plus
think
6.
Sam's better.
Yeah.
So just D20 plus that? Only 11 in total
Is that with bonuses?
with investigation.
Okay. Your guess is the dagger is not made out of steel or iron. It's made out of a precious metal. It looks like electrum.
Electrum.
Which is worth 10 times what gold is worth. And then platinum is worth 10 times what electrum's worth. Also, on the Lich, you finally get to see the crown he was wearing. And it's a very interesting looking crown. The metal in the crown seems to be of a rose gold colour. Oh, Mark's in the house. Welcome, Mark. Welcome. The crown is rose gold in colour. There's no gemstones set anywhere in the outside of this crown, so it's quite a plain looking crown. But inlaid, where you normally have the little points of a crown, here you've got what look like reptile scales, but they're really thin, very jagged around the edges, and they shimmer. As you move the crown around in your hands, you can see the light playing over these scales, and they have almost an opalescent color to them. You can see colors moving, almost as if you're seeing through the scale. The colors are shimmering in the light. Who's holding the crown? Just somebody.
I'm looking at it.
Okay, Brian, your innate skills of being a cleric. You're used to being around magic. Magic radiates off this item. It's almost as you've picked something up and you feel like it's burning your hand. There's so much magic radiating from this crown.
This came from the Lich himself?
The Lich was wearing this. And in the back of your mind, Brian, you think, you wonder if this is what has been keeping him alive for so long. If this is what's been powering him. Can I get a wisdom check from you, please, Brian?
Well, I actually have one better, because I actually have insight.
Okay.
So close to getting that 20. But I got...
You got a 2 instead.
No, I got an 8, so that is 17.
Okay, so your insight tells you, yes, this thing is radiating power. Your insight doesn't say anything about it being evil. It just has power. Can I get that wisdom, a wisdom saving throw from you?
Sure. Okay, so 14 and 6, so I got 20 altogether.
Okay. As you're holding the crown, you get the urge to put it on. And only that roll has prevented you from putting the crown on your head. But you don't sense anything evil about it. Eric's in the house!
Eric! Hey!
Yay!
We now got 15 minutes as he gets his audio sorted.
Just gotta remember how to turn the mic on.
I was in the same boat.
Just curious, what do you think this crown would do on a golem?
Ooh, we can have the golem wear the crown.
Wait, what? Hang on. What did I jump into here?
Right, I'm just shifting
While
my
we're
dice tray cam over.
I think this
checking
is
out the
great
Lich's
timing.
inventory, the crown that I'm holding right now is the one that the Lich had on his head. So it's made out of
Okay.
kind of a rose gold metal,
Yep.
and it has opalescent dragon scales, where you'd have the points that stand up from it.
Reptile scales. I didn't say anything about dragon. Careful.
Okay,
Remember,
reptile
careful when you're
scales.
making assumptions. The crown radiates power. Brian, as the cleric, can detect that there is power, magical energy there. He can't detect what kind of energy, but it is there. And the crown, almost it's urging him to put it on, but only his skills as a cleric has helped him resist the instant impulse to put it on. It's a good thing the rogue didn't pick it up.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
I
she'd
know.
already have it on her head.
You're already wearing
And then
something?
I'm wearing two things.
Sam would be wearing the crown and taking selfies by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, not a crown kind of gal, okay?
Don't bite.
Well, actually, we go with her ensemble, then all we'd need is a brooch at this point. So then Sam would have a necklace, a ring, a crown, and a brooch.
Yeah, I can be all set up to die. Oh, yes.
Oh, we're going full glam now, aren't
I
we?
don't know if you would actually die.
Maybe it would save my ass.
Eh,
They would
I
all
said
just
you may not
cancel
die.
each
I
other
didn't
out.
say it would save you.
But reverse psychology on the DM.
But if it's reverse, it's just psychology, isn't it?
I don't want to roll a psychology on the DM.
Eric, I don't think your tea would have arrived yet, but maybe my Monday.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I look forward to it.
Okay. Dustin, you've kind of walked in seeing the rogue and the cleric literally shoveling gold into their backpacks of holding. Literally shoveling, because there is thousands there. But
Yeah.
considerably more silver than there was gold. Did you want to give us a little total, Sam? I wasn't keeping a running track.
Oh, goodness.
Math.
This feels so strange to me because, like, normally D&D, you're interested in gold, but my character is nah.
But there's more than
Nah.
just that. There's other things.
Right,
And gold and silver. Though none of it may capture your attention either.
right. I'm trying to decide if I'm interested in shiny.
There's a
No, fluffy only.
Right.
There's a statue.
Look.
That's fair.
Oh,
There's so much here.
if only there was a bard in the party that could create a song, the Ballad of the Bun Buns.
Oh
I
my.
think that could probably happen, I'm sure.
Somebody gonna hire a bard.
I should have just asked you to give me what was already happening.
Okay, while Sam adds that up, Eric, on your way up the stairs, you notice that on the other side of the throne room, there was a stone archway. And behind the throne room, so there was a third exit from the main throne. Looks like a little corridor, but you didn't really see what was down that corridor.
Okay.
There's a third corridor. We only saw the two were only noticed before, right?
So behind the throne, there is two corridors. One you're exploring now, and there's also an archway that looks like it would lead to another room.
So it's just an archway, but it's not. It's like covered? Is that
You didn't look too closely, but it looks like it's got some kind of door.
okay?
Did we have a price on the dagger? Or no?
I didn't give you a price on the dagger now.
Okay. So from adding all that up, we've obviously got that 45,700 silver, and then we have 28,397.5 gold.
That's significant.
Yeah.
Quite,
Yes.
And the
quite
dagger
literally.
also has a black pearl in it, so we know that's what 500, as well as the metal being made of electrum.
Yeah, so there's a couple
Yes.
of artifacts that you found. There's some gemstones that you found. So yeah, in total you're close to what? About 30,000 gold.
30.
Yeah, if you take the silver's like 10%, or no.
Yes, silver to gold is 10 to 1.
Oh. Yeah, I just kept silver as silver. I forgot about the fact that it switches over to gold too.
Hmm.
Okay, so you've
So
got
that
plenty of
wasn't
loot.
included.
Sam, you attempt to lift your backpack of holding. So you know how
don't
much
have
you've stuck in
strength.
here. Can I get a strength check from you?
Shit. Yeah.
Is the golem gonna need to carry the backpack of holding?
The golem's gonna need to carry me too, because I'm gonna just be weighed down. Oh no. Fuck me.
We are
Tell the golem
not
that.
safe.
We are not safe, guys. We are not safe. Where's strength?
At the very top.
It left my page. That's how weak I am.
Hit top left.
Oh, like very top. Oh, it's only one. Okay,
No,
well, I got 11 in
Is
total.
that a +1 or a -1?
Plus.
Okay, so Sam, you
Says
know
plus.
how much you've shoveled into this bag. You've literally used a wheelbarrow that you found in the bag to shovel more stuff into the bag. So you kind of squat down. You kind of like just like stretching, getting the muscles working, because you know this thing's going to be heavy. There must be several tons worth of gold and silver and jewels in this bag now. So with all your strength, you heave the bag off the ground, and it weighs no more than it did a day ago. You almost
So I,
throw the
tried
bag
to
up to the
lift it up,
ceiling.
and I'm like, whoa. I've done that before with like milk and stuff. It's not fun. You're just like, oh, that's a lot.
That doesn't weigh much.
Yeah.
Lift with your legs.
Lift with your eyes.
Lift with your eyes.
Yeah, it's moral support. Lifting with the eyes. Yeah, the bag weighs no more than it did a day ago. With all that extra weight in there. Brian, you try that. Try this with your pouch of holding, and you find the same thing. It's magically managed to accommodate everything you've shoved in there so far, and you still as yet have no idea what else is in there, because you haven't really spent too much time digging around in it. Okay. Apart from the empty sacks that now lie on the floor, and the 2 shovels and the wheelbarrow propped up in the corner, the room is now empty, save the pile of dust that the lich became. Brian, you picked up the crown. Are you going to be carrying it, or are you putting it in the bag?
I'll carry it.
Okay, you're going to carry that in your hands for the time being. The dagger that you took from the lich, who's taking the dagger?
I put it in the bag already,
Okay.
but I can take it out if somebody else was gonna use it. I don't know if you use it or if you keep it as a sellable.
Do you want to examine the dagger?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a
In fact,
D20 investigation.
one of the things that I chose was insight.
This is investigation.
Ooh. 23.
Okay. You take the dagger. You notice that the dagger is in a sheath, in a belt sheath. And you draw the blade out. And as the blade comes free of the sheath, the blade almost sings to you. That shing sound that a blade makes is maybe one note. This dagger, as it's drawn, plays almost a full orchestral piece. The blade is wickedly sharp, and I mean wickedly sharp. Not that it could cut through anything. You can actually feel the blade cutting through the air as you draw the blade. This is part of your rogue senses and all of the training that you've had and all the street smarts that you had growing up, and never have you felt a weapon that actually felt like it wanted to kill something and that it could kill anything.
Stay away from me.
Okay. Experimentally, you reach into the bag and you pull out one of the silver coins. Thinking that, okay, I'm going to try and see if I can just nick the edge of a coin off, see how sharp this thing is. And as you do so, you fumble the coin. The coin kind of flies up in the air. and lands on the blade. Straight through.
Talent.
Take off 1 silver piece.
So you've got 2 half
Alright.
pieces of silver. It cut through this coin completely. No effort, just the weight of the coin falling down onto the blade, and it's gone clean through.
Don't roll a natural 1 if you're going to use it.
And
Right.
as I said, your roguish senses tell you that this thing is not just wickedly sharp, this thing is evilly sharp. It almost feels like it wants to be used. And you carefully, very, very carefully, put it back into its sheath. And the sense disappears.
Feed me, Seymour. Feed me.
Oh
Do you
shit.
want to use this dagger?
Um,
Do you want to sell it to somebody?
I really want to use it. But it's evil. He said so.
I'm not saying it's
Oh, I make
evil,
such
but
bad
It feels
decisions.
evil.
anything that wants to kill, you would assume is evil. I'm not saying it is
People
evil,
can change.
but it's almost like it has intent behind it.
It's thirsty.
I sometimes just every so often when I get into my car, and maybe it's just me having a good day, or maybe the weather conditions are just right, but sometimes I feel like the car wants to drive. Like I give it the slightest bit of throttle, and maybe the air is just dense enough and just cold enough that the combustion is cleaner than normal.
Not where I thought this was going.
And
It's just going to get in the car and want to kill people.
but sometimes I'll be driving, and it feels to me like the car just wants to drive. The car wants to go faster. You get the similar kind of feeling from this blade. This blade was made for a purpose, and it wants to do it.
Well, who am I to say no to that?
Are you going to put the blade back in the bag, or are you going to slide it into your belt?
I should probably just slide it into my belt in case it really wants to be used.
Can I get a wisdom check from you, please?
Oh no.
Would any of the rest of us get any sort of feeling that she's getting,
Like-
or is it all just her?
Or is it just all they're feeling is like, don't fucking do it?
What was the dice roll?
I got an 11.
You tuck the blade in your belt.
Bam.
Is there still a belt?
Done.
She sheathed it, right?
She sheathed
yeah.
it, yes.
So with that, would I swap that out with something else that I already have, or add it
You have
on?
a dagger?
It says I have a dagger and a bow and a sword.
Okay, so you would have to give up either your sword or your current dagger.
Well, they both do the same, so I would just get rid of the dagger and
Yeah.
swap it out with the other dagger. Okay, I'll just add scary on top of this current dagger, okay? Scary. Scary dagger now.
What about Dagger of the Black Pearl?
Yeah.
It's got a black pearl in it.
I like Scarol. Scary.
But just remember that.
Yeah,
it
so
has
you've
a
got
black
the
pearl.
scary Electrum dagger.
There we go.
Let me take out my map page because I'm going to need that. Okay, the room is empty, save the wheelbarrow, the shovels, and the empty sacks lying around on the floor. You've collected up pretty much everything you can and forced it into your bags of holding. As you're doing this,
Shovels back into the bags, one in each bag.
you can put the shovels back in the bags as well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
just in
Yeah.
case we need them.
and the wheelbarrow.
I will put one in mine.
Do you guys want to keep the wheelbarrow?
I guess. If it doesn't change anything, then we might as well have everything.
Okay. You add all that in. By the way, Brian and Sam, I did put a PDF template for a bag of holding up on the
Thank you.
on the Dropbox.
On the Dropbox. Okay.
It'll be useful if you print that off and start adding all this stuff in, because it's really easy to lose track of what's in that bag.
Yep. Especially if
Yep.
you start using stuff, you gotta.
Look, my bag of holding.
Yeah. So yeah. If you've got it all written down, that's fine. But do remember to write everything down. Because I've put stuff in bags of holding and completely forgotten about them, and they were like adventure hooks that actual stories relied upon later, and we completely forgot about them.
Shit, eh?
Okay.
I have a nail file.
You threw the nail file. You haven't picked it back up
Yep.
yet.
You had the nail file, yes.
Did I throw it though?
You threw it. The nail file was
You threw
Vorpal.
it very poorly.
It was a Vorpal
Oh, yeah.
nail file. It insta killed what it hit.
Okay, well I gotta pick that up on the way back.
It's
That's
buried in the rock. It buried
Mother-
itself in the rock wall.
Right.
You
I
pulled out
wanted
a
my
nail
nail
file.
file.
You flicked it to get rid of it because you were so disappointed. It killed the zombie
Oh,
guard
yeah?
and buried itself in the wall.
This is
So-
a strange game, guys.
So whatever you do, don't try and clean your fingernails with it.
Okay. Rip them right off.
Okay. As you
Yeah.
begin
That's
to
the
make
best
your
case
way
scenario.
back along the short corridor back to where the Lich's throne was, and you see just next to the throne that stone archway that the golem mentioned. There is a door there. It looks like it's really old wood. To the left of that, or to your left, there's the corridor that kind of bends around behind the throne as well. And then to your right, you've got the throne itself and the stairs leading down to the main throne room.
I don't think any of us have checked out the throne yet.
There's
can.
also the door as well that he was trying to get out of when we had him cornered.
Yep.
Remember, he was fumbling at the wall.
I think we should check the throne first, just in case we go through that door and have issues.
Okay. You want to do the throne first?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's gonna? I'm assuming the rogue's going to be doing the investigating.
I mean,
Is
the rogue
it?
hasn't been doing very good investigations.
Does anyone want to help her?
I can assist.
I mean,
Perfect.
Okay, so Sam, when you roll your d20s, roll 2 of them and you take the highest number.
Oh,
Because one of the other players is assisting you, you have advantage.
okay. So 24 in total.
24 in total. Okay.
Yep.
You examine the throne. It is made out of very finely carved stone. It's kind of a not a limestone like the rest of these tombs are made up of. Not a simple rock or a simple stone. This looks like it's made out of black stone, and it's got little speckles of quartz in it. So you know those really fancy kitchen counters that you see people having, black, almost like granite. But it's got little speckles of gemstone or quartz or some kind of minerals all through the material. It is smooth like you would not believe. It's like glass. It's so smooth. But carved in the throne are lots of very Celtic kind of patterns. Now
As
you run.
smooth as a unicorn's bottom.
Unicorns.
Yep, and no clingers either. Work your way around the dangleberries. As you run your fingers over the carvings, they are so perfectly carved that the edges are almost sharp to the touch. That's how well this stone throne has been made. There's nowhere the edges haven't softened over time, and the little speckles of quartz crystal still glitter at you beautifully. You keep moving your fingers over, and you work along one side and then around the front, and more of these Celtic patterns. So the kind of intertwined designs and the Celtic knots are all over this throne. And on the armrests of the throne, you expect the armrests to be perfectly smooth. But carved in the armrest are one of these Celtic knot designs in each arm. And they're raised from the rest of the stone. The rest of the stone on the armrest is perfectly smooth. It's almost like glass. But there's these two Celtic knot symbols just raised slightly above.
Push the red
Yeah.
button.
The rogue can't seem to help herself, and she presses on these two Celtic knots.
Guys, we're so.
You hear,
Eric's like, why am I here?
you hear a rumbling from way, way deep in the stone.
Sugar
You
daddy?
can't tell where it's coming from. You hear the grinding of stone. And beneath you, at the very, very far end, and only with your dark vision, Sam, can you even see this. Sand begins to fall from the ceiling.
Oh,
No.
fuck. Oh, mistakes have been made.
Would I notice this? I mean, I assume I would follow the rumbling and I would be able to see it.
You'll be able to see this as well, Eric. You can see that there is sand pouring down from the ceiling.
What is doing stopper?
From
You're
which
right.
end?
Nope.
The way.
So the very, very far in, past the doors that you were trying to open with the ranger, right down at the far end of the throne room. So you're talking 150 feet away.
See, the thing is, Dustin, you were there with her, helping her out to investigate.
You could have gone like this and been like, no, bad rogue.
Can we
Bad
have
rogue.
Can we have a retroactive roll from Dustin? Is that possible?
If Brian wants to fish around in his pouch and look for a wooden spoon that he can smack the rogue's knuckles with, I'll allow that. Or maybe even a wooden ruler. Bad rogue.
I like the ruler better.
Or how about rolled up newspaper?
Maybe the sand won't see me if I'm invisible.
By the way, there's a lot of rum in this.
I'm so safe now.
Oh, good.
You
When
guys
I
go
made
ahead.
Where'd you
this,
go, Sam?
this
I
is
can't see
this is
you.
just under a liter. That's where I filled the rum to.
God.
It's not very
it's
good
got
rum.
That much Coke.
Right. The pinch of Coke for color.
Yeah, it was about that much rum. There was this
What kind of
much
Coke do
ice.
you have in there?
Not that much longer. He's going to be like, go, dragon the sleigh.
Dragon the Slay, you must.
There's a button and you push it.
My head back and forth I whip.
Did you like that?
Okay. You've still got the room you've still got the room to the left of the throne, and you've got the corridor behind you.
All right. Well, I've already made enough bad decisions, so I'll let someone else try.
Yeah, do we want to inspect the room we haven't checked that's up by us?
I do, and we're kind of running out of time, so
Yeah.
the door
Also,
is-
does somebody want to see if the doors have opened down below?
I can.
Like, I mean, I assume they have it, but it doesn't. I don't know if it hurts to check.
I want
I'm
to
not gonna
take.
say it doesn't.
I want to take a look at the door that the doorway.
The
Okay.
wooden one?
Okay, the other one.
Okay. By the way, Sam, you press the button that was on the right-hand armrest.
Oh.
You haven't yet pressed the other one.
Oh no!
The
Why
throne-
did you tell me that?
The throne is big enough
Okay.
that you actually couldn't reach them both at the same time.
Listen, Sam, I know I'm not your character and I'm not you, but I feel like I know you well enough to know that you're gonna press that too.
Don't
Wait,
press it.
what if we press them at the same time?
Listen,
That's what I thought I was doing.
because come on, you're gonna press the one and you're gonna see the sand and you're gonna panic and press the other one. That's just
Let's make it
Okay,
come
let's
true.
assume that the rogue has
You're just
pressed
in
the other
more
one
trouble.
then.
Has pressed?
With the other one, there is a grinding of stone. And halfway down the long throne room, you see light begin to spill out onto the floor.
Like lava light?
No, as in the doors that you came through, they start to open.
Yay! Let's go. No, wait. Wooden door. How?
Okay,
You said
Eric,
it's 150.
you are investigating the archway to the left of the throne.
Yeah.
It's a stone archway. It also looks like a stone door, but on close examination, it's not. It's wood. It's just really old. It's petrified wood. And
Oh.
just the slightest touch and the door swings open. Inside, you find, or you kind of stick your head in because you're not going to go walking in and demolishing the wall. You kind of stick your head in and have a look around, and the room it looks like it would have once been an armory. So there are racks of swords and spears and shields just lined up along the floor and hung on the walls above them.
Okay.
And they're old. They're really old. In fact, opening the door has caused a slight air current in the room. And just the air moving around caused some of the swords to just disintegrate on the wall into rust. And you see puffs of rust appear on the walls as whatever will and just sheer maniacal deviance has held these weapons together has just given up, and the rust is just oof.
Okay.
You broke the seal.
Is there anything? I guess could I do like an investigation to see if there's anything worth it?
You'd have to go into the room to do that.
I'm not sure that I would, to be honest.
Weapons don't really interest you.
Yeah, exactly. Just can poke my head in, see all the weapons, and go, bun bun.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
gonna
just
say
open
that
the
too.
button.
Bun.
So these red beams of light from the golem's eyes just sweep around the room like flashlights. Bun bun. No, you find no evidence of bun buns, but you do see a lot more, a fair few more little puffs of rust as
Okay.
as more of these weapons disintegrate.
I feel like every little puff would have me like checking back just to make sure. Bun bun? Oh, okay.
While you're looking, as you were kind of poking your head into the doorway, you also notice that the corridor behind the king's throne, sorry, the lich's throne, the corridor actually went into a relatively small round room with a stone spiral staircase leading upwards.
Upwards.
Sorry, downwards. Sorry.
Oh. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna shut the door on that place. Because
You pull the door shut. You hear a clatter from the room as everything else disintegrates, and what's
I kind
left
of
of the
assumed
wooden handles and the
I would shut it just a little harder than I needed to.
the rest of you see the golem kind of like slowly back out of the archway, pull the door shut, and you hear a clatter of what sounds like really old bits of wood hitting the floor. So what's left of the bows and the spear shafts and the handles for these swords have just clattered onto the floor, and the golem's holding the handle of the door, still holding it up.
Everybody's looking at me at this point.
Oh yeah. Hi.
Okay, I'm holding the handle and I go, shit.
Does somebody want to go check that out?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
go.
I can go take a look.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Brian can go.
Yeah, I'm going the where we didn't go up here to investigate.
Okay.
Okay, Brian, you gonna have a look in the room?
Yeah.
Okay, you push the door open. Can I get a Constitution check from you, please?
Is that a laugh that I heard?
I know. I
No,
couldn't tell if
I'm,
it was a laugh or cough.
Oh,
That's
okay.
me coughing. Sorry.
Okay, okay.
No, you're all good.
This is never good when you
Well.
hear a roll and a laugh.
No, I know.
Oh no, I didn't laugh or anything.
No,
I just
it was-
rolled.
Yeah, it was Dustin.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, I got a 9.
Okay. As you open the door, a cloud of rust billows out at you, and you're momentarily overcome by this fog. It's almost like a gaseous cloud that hits you. Your eyes begin streaming. You can feel it scratching at the back of your throat. You start coughing uncontrollably and scrambling to shut the door again. But you come out covered in this red powder, coughing red powder, and there's this kind of orangey glaze to your eyes. You take 5 points of damage just because you've inhaled some of this rust powder, and your vision is going to be impaired for at least a short period of time.
Enjoy that iron oxide.
It's kind of like me when I go into a room full of dust.
It's like anybody that uses a bathroom after me.
Takes
I
5
wasn't
points
re-
of damage.
Remember, kids, smells are particulate.
Terrible.
Science isn't dull. Right. So there's the spiral stone stairs behind the throne room, if you want to explore those. Or you can explore the rest of the throne room because it's quite a big room.
Oh, by the way, Brian, when you come out of there like coughing and everything,
Mhm.
I'm gonna say, I told you it was shit.
Well, thanks for that.
We could go throughout the throne room, but at the same time, it's filling with sand right now.
Is it? Did that stop?
That hasn't
I didn't
stopped.
think it stopped. I thought the door just opened.
We get like a check on how much sand.
You can see that there are two very large piles of sand, but it's only at the very, very far end of this throne room, and it hasn't quite reached up to even halfway up to the ceiling.
Okay, okay.
Remember, this was a really high vaulted ceiling in this space, almost a cathedral-like ceiling.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'm gonna investigate around then.
Okay. You have a nosy around, and all you see is just the stone stairs behind you. And the
Great,
stone stairs leading
it
down.
is. Stone stairs behind.
Yeah, that's leading back up to where the rest of us are. Or I am.
So, behind, almost directly behind the throne, well, it's actually just off to one side, is that little corridor with the spiral staircase leading down.
Yeah, so it's going deeper in.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Oh, you wanted to check that out? Okay.
Because we haven't gone that way, right?
Not yet.
But the sand.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Well, if we go down, that's probably the only place we're going because probably by the time we finish the next level down, we're not going to be able to get back up these stairs.
Can we see the holes that the sand is coming from?
No, it's too high up in the ceiling.
Okay.
For now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really want to try and climb a pile of sand? It's not fun.
It's really tough playing a character that has such low intelligence. Because like I have ideas, but I'm like, I wouldn't know that.
And that's
now,
also bonus points for playing in character.
Yeah. The doors that open, was it both doors, both the one we came in and the one on the opposite side?
From what you could tell, yes, there was light spilling in onto the floor from both sides.
We could try the other one.
That one goes up as well, right?
We don't know where it goes, but it's just the opposite end. So we have the option of going back the way we came in.
Yep.
And just calling it there, continuing down, continuing out without knowing where either of those two lead, with the sand piling up.
Yeah. My only concern is the sand. I pressed a fucking button. If
Just
we go
pressed the
down,
wrong
we could have
one
issues.
first. And there's still something we haven't explored where we're right at.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to do. Real quick.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, so we're going down the stone spiral staircase.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, who's leading the way?
I will this time.
Okay, are you attempting to stealth?
Yep.
Okay, roll for it.
Okay. 1 sec. That would be an 18.
Okay, so while Brian is recovering from the cloud of rust, the ranger kind of slips down the stone stairs almost invisibly. They don't go down very deep, maybe 10 or 15 feet. And they wind around and take you down into a relatively small room, maybe 15 feet by 15 feet, perfectly circular. In front of you is a very narrow archway. It looks like there may have been stones piled up at some point, but some of those stones have fallen down. Can I get a perception check from you, Dustin?
Perception. Yes.
Just gonna do a quick refill.
That would be a 17.
Okay, to your right, you notice that there's a slight colour difference in the stone walls.
Just to my right.
Just to your right.
Like it could possibly be a hidden door, maybe?
You would have to investigate to find out.
Yeah, I want to investigate that then.
Okay.
That is a dirty 20.
The thing that attracted you first is that the stone was slightly off colour. Whereas most of this tomb has been made of what looks like sandstone, very light, almost gentle yellowy colour, the stone here was just slightly darker. And as you brush away the dust and the dirt that's built up on the stone over the hundreds of years, you slowly start to see a tiny little crack that doesn't line up with the mortar in the stones. Just a very fine hairline crack. You run your fingers around it, and eventually you find a slight depression either side of this door, as far as you're concerned. And you slide your fingers, and you hear a little click. The stone slides backwards away from you, and then to the side. And a very, very small room behind it. Now,
It's not
you're
lined with gold, is it?
Just thinking that.
Dustin, you're down there on your own.
Yeah.
Roll for initiative.
Okay.
Right.
7.
Avengers assemble.
Do I know this yet, though? Like, how well can I see into this?
You don't have any form of dark vision, do you?
No.
Then you can't see into the room.
Yeah, so I have no idea until I probably get attacked that I need help.
Or unless you want to light a torch or get the cleric to use his
Yeah.
light spell.
That's probably something I would do. But I guess I have to wait for initiative. I don't know if I go first or not.
You rolled a 7.
Yes.
Right, okay. Hang on a second, I need to get my books out. Dustin, you hear a scuttling.
Do you guys remember that fun time I said we should just leave?
I like the fact that we haven't healed up either.
No, you had a long rest while they were shoveling all the gold.
Oh. So.
You're all back up to full stats.
Okay. That's good to know. Did not do that.
Yeah, I'm not that evil.
So full health
me and Sam as
noose.
well?
All of you. Yeah.
So full
Right,
health
well-
and all your spells back.
Full health, full magic. So you basically take it in turns to shovel gold into this wheelbarrow, and you've had time to rest while you were doing it.
Except for me, that I got 5 points on me.
It's good to know that that I can
Okay.
heal.
Dustin, can I get a intelligence saving throw from you, please?
Intelligence saving throw. Oh god.
Hey,
Wow,
just
this
be
is
thankful it's not
awful.
Eric that's doing it.
It's I got a 19.
Okay. You pass. That's good.
I rolled really high because I don't have intelligence.
Almost sounds like my turn on the lich roll.
Yeah.
You do notice that something's kind of prickling in your mind, almost like you've got a headache or a migraine coming on, and then it almost as suddenly as it came, it goes away.
No. This
It
was
better
there
not
was a
be those.
warning. Beto. Caca.
Are you going to call for the others?
I'm gonna light a torch to see what's down here.
Okay. You kind of pull back into your backpack. You've got little like molly straps all around your backpack, and a torch is wedged into one of them. Pull that out. You grab your flint, strike it, and you see very in the faintest flicker. You see kind of secreted into the corner of the room what looks like an orb with 4 clawed legs. There's 2 of them.
I'm going back upstairs.
Okay, that's your turn and your movement. The rest of you see the ranger coming back up the stone steps looking a little bit flustered, holding a torch. Brian, I'm assuming you've still got your light orb floating next to you.
Yep.
Following him up looks like, how best to describe this? About the size of a beach ball. 2 brains with 4 legs and clawed feet.
You are evil. Thank you so much, Void.
Well, in Void's defense, he did say that a mind flayer would be too much for you guys.
No, he
But
didn't.
these
He
are
said I'm down
just
for
as
anything.
bad.
Can the rest of you roll for initiative, please?
Just as a heads up, I get advantage on initiative now.
Yep.
So, if you weren't already aware, which I'm sure you were.
But you don't hit as hard as you have been.
I'm not sure how to take this roll.
Like a
That is
man.
true. I don't.
Well, I rolled a 13.
Okay.
Oh, that seemed pretty lucky to me.
Mine's a 17 total.
Mine's a 10.
You still did better than me.
Okay. Eric, you see these kind of beach ball sized brains come scuttling up from the stone stairs. You've never seen anything like it before, but they seem to be chasing the ranger. It's your turn. What do you want to do?
They're not fuzzy, right?
No, they're not
Okay.
fuzzy.
Good.
If you want to see for you guys that aren't familiar with the monster manual,
Oh. Alrighty.
Yeah.
All brains
Abort.
and some brawn. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna go punch it.
okay, you take 2 strides over.
I'll probably also do rage as well. Because it's a bonus action, so
Okay, rage away and roll your attack.
yes. Oh. That was 9 plus 7, 16.
Okay, that's a hit.
Alright. So then that's 5 plus 2. So 7 damage.
Okay.
And then I'll get another attack.
Yep, for your bonus.
That was 1.
Okay. Luckily, there's nobody in the party nearby.
Right, yeah, that's
apart from the ranger that's retreating away from this encounter, shrieking like a little girl as he does this. I'm gonna let you off this one because normally I would say roll to see if you hit the ranger with one of your
Right,
wild
yeah.
swings, but the ranger's moving really fast. He's moving really fast. He wants nothing to do with what's down there.
I mean,
We gotta go.
I feel like I have an idea of what could happen, but I don't want to make any suggestions. So
Okay. Well, the first one you swung at it. Are you swiping or are you just slamming a fist down?
yeah, I'd slam a fist down.
Okay. You slam down a fist. You manage to catch the side of the brain. The whole thing jiggles like a big mold of jello, and you manage to crush one of its feet under your fist. So that one's not going anywhere in a hurry. The other one sees what's happened and it starts to scurry away and up the wall.
The wall. I don't like that.
Okay.
It wasn't close enough for an opportunity attack, was it?
Not close enough, no.
Okay.
Anything else for your go?
No, I don't believe I can do anything. So.
Okay. Ryan? You're still kind of in kind of like around the cloud of rust. Your eyes are streaming, you're still coughing. But you suddenly see the golem dart off, and you hear a big thud as his stone hand hits something, and there's a squelchy noise, and then the ranger comes running towards you in a bit of a panic. There's like a ranger-shaped cutout in the cloud of dust now.
Can I discern anything else, like what's going on?
You know that the golem darted down towards the stone stairs, and you heard a squelch. But aside from that, your eyes are streaming like crazy. You can't really see very well. Blind. Thank you for joining. Yeah, Sam fired everything up, so I'm surprised you didn't get the notification from Sam. That's unfortunate. We're about what? How long have we been live? About an hour and 30.
Yeah, just over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About an
You've
hour and a
you've
half.
joined just as our characters suicidally decide to search for secret doors in a tomb that's already been very mean to them.
Okay, so from where I'm standing, Dustin is near me.
Dustin has pegged it past you.
Yeah. How far away is Eric?
Eric is about 15 feet away.
And then Sam's still at the throne, right?
Yeah.
Is she still like about 15 to 30 feet away?
She's about 15 feet away in the other direction.
Okay, well, since I can't really discern on what's going on, like I know there does seem to be a threat that's present, I am going to do my bless.
Okay.
What does bless do?
That gives us a bonus depending on what I roll.
So you get a bonus on all your saving throws and on your attacks.
Yeah, your save throws and your attacks.
What is it? Is it just a D4?
The
Yeah,
D4
it's just a
that he has to
D4.
roll.
Funnily enough,
Ooh,
blind. This was not Sam's doing on this occasion. Sam
I
has
got a
had
4
something to do with this.
I didn't do it, blind. I didn't do it.
What was that you
pressed
got,
the
Brian?
button, But
I rolled a 4.
Okay, so everybody, you've got +4 bless. For the immediate future. So on all saving throws and on all attacks, you get to add an extra D4, an extra 4 points. This is good because you are going to need them. Because I think Brian's the only one familiar with this particular creature.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't like them. Like I said before in chat, bad puppies.
It's kind of like a really ugly puppy, but it's a giant brain with 4 legs and no waggy tail. Right. Is that your go, Brian?
I should be able to ready my mace though too, right?
You can do, yeah.
Yeah. Because can't really do anything else while I'm concentrating on the bless. So yeah, I'll ready my mace and my shield.
Okay. Sam, you're by the throne. You've noticed the ranger come running through a cloud of rust. You look up to see the golem go darting down the corridor towards where the stone staircase was, and you hear a thump as his stone hand splats something on the floor. The cleric has reacted. You suddenly feel a little bit more energy and vigor course through your body. What would you like to do?
I want to draw the scary legger. Because I think I have my bow drawn right now, so I'm gonna switch that.
All of your weapons would have your bow would have been slung over your shoulder while you were working with the shovels.
I see.
Okay,
Then.
so you draw the dagger. Are you gonna move, or you gonna hide behind the throne?
I'll hide, I guess, if they haven't seen me yet.
Well, you can hide. You don't know if they've seen you, but you can hide.
Well, then there's no point. I should be attacking them. The dude that's up on the ceiling or the wall, can I use my bolt?
From where you are, you
Fireball?
can't see them. You'll have to move up to where the cleric is to even see down that corridor with the stairs.
I'll do that.
And to see where the creature on the wall is, you'd have to be standing almost behind the golem. So
Okay, I'll
that
move then.
is about 20 feet away.
I'll move towards them.
Okay, so you move past the cleric. Um, Brian, as the rogue runs past you, you hear the sing of violins and strings as the dagger is drawn, and it gives you an involuntary shiver.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
She's got that stupid dagger out.
It's
Uh,
gonna kill all the bitches. It's fine.
as a rogue, how are
That's
you
all it
holding
tries
the
to
weapon? Are you holding it blade up or blade down?
A blade down.
Okay. You move up behind the golem. You see the golem has got one of these four-legged brain creatures pinned to the floor, with his massive hand. And you can see out of the corner of your eye, just looking up to the left, another one is scurried up the wall, and it's kind of in the corner, almost as if it's trying to hide.
That's the end of my turn, right?
You can still do more movement, and you've still got your action.
So I'm able to attack the one that Eric has pinned, right?
You'd have to get you can attack the one that Eric's pinned, yes.
And I can also attack the one that I can see now up top.
The one in the corner, it would be at arm's reach, and you kind of waving around in the corner trying to get to it, like jumping up to try and get the extra height.
True. Okay, I will just attack the one that he has pinned then.
Okay.
So we actually didn't discuss what the damage was for that dagger specifically.
Roll as if it's a regular dagger, because you don't know yet.
Okay. It's
Is it your
D20, right?
D20 for your attack,
Yes.
plus your proficiency, plus your
Dex, right?
your dex.
Plus
Wait.
4.
If this is a magic dagger, it can probably hurt me too.
That was 27 in
Okay,
total.
that's a hit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think you want to test throwing this at
Yeah.
Test what?
Don't hit the golem with this.
Please.
I don't think I am. I think I did good.
If you rolled a
I
1,
rolled a 3.
if you rolled a 1 on your attack roll, you might have done.
Yeah.
So that's
Rolled a
just 3. Okay. Okay. It's alive. It's squirming. The dagger sinks right through the brain part, and you feel it bite into the stone underneath. But it pulls away cleanly.
I can back up, right?
You forgot something.
What did I forget?
Sneak attack.
Oh, was it a sneak attack though?
Yep,
If I walked right up to it?
because the enemy's already engaged with the golem.
Right.
He's at 5
Okay.
feet.
So that's 3d6.
4.
4 now?
No. What was it I told you earlier? 3.
3.
I had it at 3.
You're at 4.
Yeah.
Then you're 4d6.
Okay.
You're at level 6.
Okay, that's the only thing that it didn't change then. Holy. A 5. A 6. A 3. A 2. And a 6. Oh wait, did I just roll 5 times?
You did roll 5 times.
It's 3d6 still at level 6. She doesn't get 4
Oh, okay.
until level 7.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I just got a 6, 5, and a 4 in my first 3, so.
Okay, so yeah, that would be 15 extra damage anyway. Okay,
3d6 then.
you cut into what looks like a bowl of jello. and you carve neatly through it, splitting it almost down the length of the jiggling, pulsating brain that it is. There's kind of a farting noise as it just collapses in on itself, and oozing liquid just spills out over the floor.
Yum.
So that one's dead.
Sure is. One to
Dustin.
go.
My turn?
Yep.
But, okay. I assume I'm going to have to turn around and come back into this room?
Well, you're gonna have to stop running for starters, but yes.
Yeah. Stop running.
So you kind of skid to a halt, not far from where the cleric has readied himself, and as you turn around, you can see that the rogue has darted forward, taken out one of these intellect devourers, and you can hear the squish as it kind of just the pulsating bag of ooze just ruptures and it just spills out over the stone floor. You can just about make out a shadow in the very corner up by the ceiling where you think the other one might be.
Okay. How much movement do I have to be able to see that?
You could get within shooting distance, but you're not going to get within melee range.
Okay, within shooting distance is fine.
Yep.
I want to shoot it with my arrow. I'm wondering, can I, with a bonus action, since I have my torch, light the arrow on fire?
You do have some arrows that you've prepared to be flaming. Yes.
Okay.
You use some of the wrappings that you'd found in the tomb to do that in the last episode.
Right. So I was wondering if I could so I can use the fire arrows on this thing.
Yep. Okay. So roll it as a standard attack with a standard arrow, and then add a d6 of fire damage to it.
Okay.
Doing the promo.
So that is, with the +4, that's a 30 to hit.
That's a hit.
Okay. And then we said a d6 plus a d8, or a d6 plus my. So I'll do this. So 6 plus a d6. So 9 total.
9 total. Okay. Yeah. It takes the hit, but it's still scurrying. It's kind of scurrying with like an antenna sticking out of one of its lobes.
Rolled the stupid 1 on the damage die.
Oh, and the antenna seems to have a little flag on the end, which is the flights of the arrow, and they're on fire. So yeah, you can now all very clearly see where it is.
It's lit up.
Pretty much. Is that the end of your turn, Dustin?
Yeah, I think the only thing I would have left is movement, so that's all I'm gonna
do. Yeah, okay. Right, Dustin, can I get another intelligence saving throw from you, please?
Intelligence saving throw. Alright, here we go. I got a 19 again.
Okay, that's good. You feel that kind of prickly feeling of a migraine coming on, and then it suddenly disappears again as you manage to resist.
Yeah. It's because I get migraines every day. I know how to deal with those.
So, Brian, I know you're well aware of what these intellect devourers do. For the rest of you, it is psychic damage that you would be taking, because they literally are psychic attackers. If you fail that saving throw, your intelligence is dropped to 0. So you become basically a mindless. Imagine a patient in a coma.
Wait,
There's
so
no comprehension going on behind there. You would literally just be standing there dumbfounded until someone is able to rescue you.
yeah, and it's not you go from to an actual zero, not like a +0 or whatever. It's like a 0, 0.
Your
right?
entire intelligence is reduced to
'Cause
0
zero. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
permanently, or until
Not
you can
one.
seek some kind of magical help. To give you a typical animal, say like a trained dog, would have an intelligence of 5 or 6. You would be 0. There would be absolutely nothing
Yeah.
going on behind there.
Basically a lobotomy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After which, the on its next turn, it would then attempt to steal your body.
No big deal.
No biggie. Right. That's its go. It's kind of staying where it is because it can't really get any further away from you. The room is somewhat circular. It's hiding up in the corner. It's now been lit up by its own arrow. Oh, it's arrow now. I don't think you're going to want it back after this. Back to the top of the order, Eric.
Right.
The one that was pinned underneath your fist is now a bag of ooze, slowly spreading over the floor.
Kind of like
You've
my
seen the
hand.
ranger fire up into the corner of the ceiling, and that one is now gently illuminated.
Can I reach it?
You'd have to step around the stairs to do it, but yes, you can reach it.
All right. I would like to try to grab it.
Okay,
How large is this thing?
about the size of a beach ball.
Okay. Like if I could, yeah, try to grab it. I guess what would that be?
That would be a dexterity.
Dexterity.
Ooh.
It's still your action, but it wouldn't count as an attack.
Yeah, I'm just.
These are not the kind of things you want to pet and cuddle.
No. I was
just
thinking
grab
if I
it
could
and swing it.
if I could grab it and pull it down so that the rogue can stabby again, because that worked really well last time.
You could just go splat against the wall with an open hand.
Yeah.
And
All
even
right.
if you didn't kill it, you'd be pinning it against the wall.
Okay. Yeah. So is that just a regular attack roll?
That would be a regular attack. These things are
Okay.
really, really nasty.
Yeah.
You don't want to be messing around with these intellect devourers.
Yeah.
Because if it came to its turn, I doubt you would pass the minimum saving throw for
Yeah,
the
no,
intelligence
probably not.
check.
Probably not. It's a good chance.
But then there's also the question of, do you actually have a brain for it to occupy?
I have a piece of paper, so
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if that counts for
Right.
that.
I'd have to homebrew the hell out of that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I would suggest attack.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that then. That is a 13, so a 20.
That's a hit.
All right, so that's was +4 now, right?
Yep.
Yes.
11.
What? No +7?
No. Wait.
I do 5 damage. I get +2 because of my rage, and then I get +4.
You don't get the +4 to your damage, only to your attack roll.
Oh, it's my attack roll.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So it's 5. So it's 7. Yeah.
Okay. It's attack rolls and saving throws. You get the bless
Gotcha.
extra.
Then
Okay.
I had
Oh,
a
that's
24.
right. I would have gotten a +4. I didn't even think of that. I forgot. I had +4 to the saving roll, but I passed it.
Okay. Second attack, Eric.
Yes. That's 18. Yeah, it's 22.
Also a hit.
So that's another 7.
And another 7. And it goes squish.
Yay.
So
Yay, Mr. Pump!
you slam your hand against it, pinning it to the wall, which does a certain amount of damage, and then you take the other hand and go whack, and squish it all the way up against the wall. Ooze just spreads out, covering the walls in every direction. Yeah, that was a good call, actually, guys. That could have been very, very nasty. That intellect devourers are not as dangerous as the lich was, because they're
But
quite
hey,
weak.
guys, that was our most successful and quickest battle ever. Just ignore the fact that I pressed a
It wasn't.
button.
It
No,
wasn't.
it
How?
wasn't.
The
Oh,
quickest
the bun
battle
buns.
was the battle of the bun buns.
Don't remind me.
It wasn't our most successful.
No, that was the one that caused PTSD for one of our buddies over here.
The battle of the bun buns.
Very
The
traumatic.
battle of the bun
PTSD,
bun.
and it killed one of our players.
Just wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
it's true.
Both of those are dead. We are coming now to the top of the second hour, so I'm going to take a short break. Nip to the loo, refresh your drinks, whatever you need to do. And guys in the chat or anybody that's watching, we will be back in about 5 minutes.
All right.
He's my favorite here. He's just smashing dudes.
It's one way to solve the puzzle, I suppose. May not be the desired outcome, but it's nonetheless it is an outcome. Good evening, Dabs. We've got Dabs in the room. Thank you for joining. We're just bringing our peeps back from a short break, and then we shall get up and running again. But they've just had a little inopportune combat with some four-legged brains that were scurrying around, and I don't mean Brian's.
Yeah, I almost made the joke. I don't know. I'm being chased by Brian's, or is it brains? I think I was too scared.
So I'm gonna have to figure out all these kind of crap things about channel points and everything, aren't I?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Archangel, am I playing with you in 2 days?
Have you got a D&D game with Dabs as well, Kratos?
I've got a one-shot.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to think.
Dabs, try and kill him as quickly as possible. Put everyone else out of their misery. Just kill him. Kill him nice and quick. Well, wait, what are we up to now? This is episode 6 of my game. And we're averaging about 4 hours an episode, so I think we've come a long way since you first went into that tower and convinced the bandit to make you a bacon sandwich.
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out Streamlabs at some point. That's going to be a project in its own right.
Good luck with all that.
Well, I always said I had no intentions of earning money from Twitch because I'm just doing this because I'm doing stuff anyway. I might as well chat with you guys while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. I've got no intention of earning any money for it. And then you guys start subbing. And then Mr. P starts dropping biddies everywhere. And this is not a titties for biddies kind of situation here, so don't get any ideas. But now that everybody's got like first subscriber emotes, I'm gonna have to start getting emotes designed and all sorts. So yeah, this has just generated its own string of problems, which are good problems to have nonetheless, but problems nonetheless. In chat though, how's the audio? Is the audio balance okay? Are you hearing everyone in the call? I should have checked earlier.
There's been no sound at all this entire time.
Well, that might not be too good.
I've got it muted so that I'm not getting double echo, but that way I can still. I got my tab muted, I should say.
Okay, we'll boost them up a little bit. So we're peaking around about the yellows, but I've got filters attached to my mic, which is leveling the sound off. I don't have that on the desktop audio. Okay, as usual, we're waiting for Sam. Okay.
And here I thought I was going to be late.
So, while you're kind of wiping the ooze, all the brain ooze off of you, the ranger explains why all this suddenly came about. He'd gone down the stone stairs. There was a room to one side with a secret door, and the secret door was probably there for a damn good reason. But he believes that those intellect devourers were potentially guarding something. He also says that directly ahead of him, as he came down the stairs, there was a very narrow archway, similar to the narrow archways you saw in the tomb above. And again, some of the rocks have started to become loose and start to crumble down. So there could well be something behind there.
So should we go down and investigate then?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna head down. I think our rogue had said something about checking the level of the sand real quick to see if it was getting too dangerous of a level.
Okay. Okay. So the rogue nips back to the throne and has a quick look at the sand. You can see that the sand has piled up as high as you can see, or not quite to the ceiling, but as high as you can see, and it's starting to creep towards your end of the room. Now, the room itself is a long, slim, very much like a cathedral, a long, slim room, but really high vaulted ceilings. And we are. It's about 120 feet long. Now, every 10 feet there was a stone pillar rising up to the ceiling, supporting the ceiling, and the sand is now creeped down to the second pillar. So the first pillar at the back end of the room is half submerged in sand, and the second pillar is starting to have sand pile up around it. It's not anywhere near the doorways. You can still see the illumination from the torches, the light spilling down onto the floor where the doors opened either side. It's nowhere near there yet. It's about a good 35 feet away from that.
Okay.
But the sand is progressing.
But it doesn't. It seems like we still have time to check this out. I want to. How is Brian's vision right now?
Brian is still half blind. So his vision is effectively reduced to about 15 feet.
I'm trying to think.
Your eyes are streaming and they're really itchy.
I'm blinking a lot.
Would maybe a splash of water help?
That would certainly help.
Yeah, I'm gonna offer some water to splash into his eyes, maybe get this dust out.
Okay.
First.
Blind in the chat. Yeah, so the Golem and Kralis, so Eric and Kralis were trying to kind of pry open one of the doors in an attempt to find an escape route. Sam and Brian actually managed to finish off the lich in that room, and that turned out to be the treasure room. They loaded up with about 30,000 worth of gold, so it's a good thing they had these magical bags of holding. And they're now exploring some of the corridors and rooms behind the Lich's throne.
And the noisy entrance.
So,
Sorry, I had to make supper for the kids.
That's
What a
right.
rogue.
We are at the bottom of the stairs, and we are exploring the fourth, well, technically the third level of the catacombs. The room where the mind flayers were is the doorway standing open. That was the secret door. And as you come down the stairs directly ahead of you, there is a very narrow opening that's been bricked up, similar to the tomb upstairs where you met the little prince. And again, some of those stones have fallen down over the years. Yes, Blind, it's very much a bun-bun entrance, isn't it? Lots of scrabbling, things get knocked over, and then suddenly quiet.
As usual with me, sad. What did I do?
We need the ballad of the bun-buns.
You scratched your arm raw is what you did. Quit scratching.
Looks like a hickey, but it's not a hickey. Okay, continue on. I'm at the top of the stairs watching. What's my sand count at?
Yes, the sand is started to fill up to the ceiling at the first pillar. Every 10 feet there was these pillars rising up, holding up the ceiling. So the first pillar is about
150 feet away.
The whole room is about 120 feet long, so it's quite a big space. The first pillar is about half submerged in sand, and the second pillar is you're starting to see sand building up there. It's still about 30 feet away from the two doors. One of which is the door that you came in through.
Well, shit.
Seems
All right,
like
guys,
I think
hurry!
we got some time. I'm gonna head down and start looking in this alcove that I tried to go in. It's these little uh, Brian's or brains came out of.
Intellective hours.
Okay. You step in. It's a very small room, about 15 feet by 10 feet, and there's absolutely nothing there. Absolutely nothing. No scraps, no dust, no little chips of stone. The room is completely pristine. Aside from the door that slid away from you and then to the side, you can see that in the corner of the room.
This is an illusion.
They are intellective hours that could well be.
Brian, were you coming with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to look down that hallway some more? I had another question. You said there was another just to the left of that. There was a spot that was uh looks like there was rocks piled up in front of it.
That's the archway in front of you. And as you come down
Okay.
the stairs, directly in front of you is that archway.
Okay. I
And
didn't know if that was the same spot.
yeah,
Okay.
it looks very similar to the one that you saw in the tomb upstairs.
Um. Well, I'll let Brian go first because he's got the light.
Oh, that's how it is it, Ryan?
Everybody uses me for my light.
Can I, if I'm there, if I'm able to fit into whatever space this is, that might be a good idea.
You would
wanna go
have to
first?
kind of lay down on your side and kind of shuffle through. But
Uh-huh.
yes, you can fit down this. Through this archway.
Because since I leveled up, I think I have like advantage on initiative rolls, and basically I can't be surprised and yeah, things like that. So
someone took a feat.
no,
Oh,
it's feral instinct.
feral instinct. Okay, because it
Yeah.
sounds like alert.
Oh yeah.
Similar, not the same, but similar.
So just if there's anything in there, it might be a good idea for the golem, the damage
first?
sponge.
Okay. So you this little stone archway, as I said, very similar to the one that you saw upstairs. You push away the stones and they just tumble down onto the ground very easily. Whatever mortar was holding them together has long since perished. And you see a long, very narrow corridor, about 30 feet long. At the end of it, you can see that there is a space, but with your golem eyes, you can just make out that there's big stone shapes laid on the floor. Now, you can fit down this corridor, just. You'd have to squeeze, kind of like sideways squeeze through the arch, and then as long as you stoop, you'd be able to walk down this corridor, but you would fill the entire corridor.
Okay. So like, if I gotta turn around,
You would not be able to turn around in this space.
I would have to like back up.
You'd have to back up, yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody's pulling you out. I'm just saying.
So with that in
Nobody here that's
mind,
strong enough.
with that in mind, can you tell me the order in which you're going down this corridor? Actually, yeah. Sorry, if you guys can give me just 1 minute. I forgot I haven't taken my medication yet, so let me do that before it gets too late. Be back in a second.
Okay.
Brian, are you still wanting to go in front of me, or no?
Well, I don't necessarily have to go in front of you. Like I can send the light globe on ahead.
Okay. Then I can go in front. I'm trying to think if how my character would feel. Like he would.
Supposed to do this before we start the game.
Be comfortable walking back into this room.
Okay, let me just bring my mic down because this is going to be rustling like hell. Okay, what's the order that you're proceeding down the room?
Mr. Pump's going first. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I'm seeing a pattern here, Dustin. I'm seeing a pattern here.
I'll hesitantly go second. I know what came out of here last time,
Right.
so I'm being a little more observant of anything popping out at me.
Once bunned, twice shy, huh?
If I say run, you run.
Yeah, no problem. Saw that last time.
If he says
Doesn't have to
run, then
have-
everybody else run. He's going to wiggle a lot.
Yeah, right.
But everybody else run.
No, when he says run, I say how fast.
You hear how fast
Right.
I'm running.
What do you mean run? Which direction? Run? Run from what? There's an athletic track down here. I don't have my trainers with me. I'm wearing completely the wrong gear.
I start doing the running man and just run in place.
As Brian moonwalks down the corridor. Oh, would you like a pamphlet? Moonwalk. Okay, right.
Oh, before you go.
What order are you going down this corridor in?
So it's Mr. Pump and then me and then
I can be right behind Dustin.
okay.
Because I
And
can
then
send
Sam.
my light up ahead. Like I could have it just behind Eric.
Okay. So Eric, you squeeze through the archway with doing minimal damage to the stonework.
Good.
And you kind of like manage to hunch down and square yourself, and you're almost filling this 5 foot wide corridor. You're pretty much occupying the entire space. Your head's hunched down. Your shoulders are almost up to the ceiling, and you're like a stone plug slowly being slid down this stone pipe. As you get closer to the end of the corridor, you're looking ahead because you can't really look in any other direction. You can't turn your head at all. The kind of position you're in. You see that it opens out into I'd say a medium-sized room, about 25 feet square. And in the room, there are 12 stone sarcophagi. 5 along each wall, and then 2 in the center. You step out into the room. It's quite a high ceiling. There's plenty of space for you to walk around the sarcophagi without doing any damage. And as the ranger and the cleric step out, the little floating ball of light begins to illuminate the room. As you, Sam, I'm guessing you're bringing up the rear.
I thought I was staying upstairs. Nobody called me down, right?
Okay, you stay. Okay, are you wanting to venture down?
I don't know. I think we had all discussed me staying up there so that in case the sand gets too much. And they haven't found any other exit yet, right?
Okay. So Sam staying put.
No, wait.
So, as you emerge out into the room, it's about 25 feet square, but it's got a really high ceiling to it. Not as vaulted as the main tomb, but high nonetheless. And you see the 4 stone sarcophagi laid out on the floor. As I said, 2 rows of 5, and then 2 lengthways down the center. Brian, you notice a small blue glow at the far end of the room, and you recognize the ghost of the little prince.
I was just going to say that. Because the same kind of glow as it was from the last time. So are these the errant ones? Well, actually, no, there's just one guy that was errant.
Oh,
So I'll
hello.
step forward.
It's my friends again. Welcome back. Oh, you must have met. Yes, you met him, didn't you? And you're alive.
Yes, we did.
You're alive. That's very good. How very clever of you to have survived him. He had so much magic, so much anger. Even I stay away from him. I don't dare. He can see me, you know. He could. Welcome. This is, apart from my father's tomb, this is my second favourite place down here. They call this the Tomb of the 12 Kings.
Is this the ancestry of who the kings were in this realm?
Oh yes. All the kings would have been buried in this room. It was only when my father ascended to the throne that he had his tomb excavated just for him and his guards. But you know, things get a little crowded. You look around the tomb.
Everyone needs their own space.
You look around the room and you see the 12 sarcophagi. There is, as usual, there is the stone carving of a fallen warrior laying atop the stone lids of the sarcophagi. And at the foot of each warrior, as you kind of circulate around the space, you notice that there is an inscription carved. You begin brushing away the some of the dust. The ghost of Prince Ilian disappears from one side of the room and suddenly reappears in front of you, Brian. Oh my! You have his crown. How very clever of you to get his crown. They called that the crown of feathers. What would you do with it?
What does it do?
Oh, well, I don't know if I want to spoil the fun. It will be so exciting to see you work it out on your own. He points up to the back wall. And on the wall, you kind of brush away the cobwebs and the dust, and you see carved in the stone a single phrase: "Comes the destroyer that you have made."
Wow, they knew we were going to release the dragon?
I feel judged.
Oh, Sam just gave me a hydrate.
Yeah, it's a fake redemption because you don't have hydrate yet.
I finished all my rum.
I like mine
I
better.
need to get some more.
You finished it all? You don't need more, bro. We'll all die.
That was, what, maybe 250 mils of rum and about the same of Pepsi Max?
Oh my.
Okay. The prince kind of is sitting on the edge of one of these stone sarcophagi, just swinging his feet casually. Did you try the crown on? How did it fit?
No, I haven't tried it on yet.
Oh, you're missing out on all the fun then. Well, you were a man of God, aren't you?
Yes.
And you've probably worked out by now that the crown has power.
I can feel the power coming off of it.
It's not bad. Honest. He holds up his hand. Honest, it's not bad.
I'm just wondering if he's trying to be a little bit of a trickster here.
The prince kind of tilts his head. He's surprised that you don't trust him, but to be fair, he is a ghost. Well, the crown has a little history.
I'm just looking at chat.
Jump in the ass.
When my mother died, my father was distraught. He was so sad. He would just wander around the castle, very angry, shouting at the servants. And one of the wizards told him that they could create something that would help him speak to my dead mother. And I thought that was a great idea. I hadn't spoken to her in so long. And the wizard created this crown that would allow him to communicate with my dead mother. Unfortunately, he spent far too long wearing the crown, and I was scared that I'd lost him as well. And every time he came back from that room and took off the crown, he was so tired, and he was so angry, and he would shout, and he would stamp away like an angry child, I suppose. But I remember the one thing he said when he became sad that the crown wasn't working properly. He brought the wizard back, and they had this huge argument. They were so loud. And I remember the screaming and the shouting, because I was in the other room. I was in my bedroom. And I remember my father saying that it wasn't real. And he said something like, they are echoes. And then he sent the wizard away with the crown. And after a few days, my father came back. He became the father that I remember. He was nice and kind, and he took me out fishing, and we went hunting together again. All the things he didn't do when he had the crown. Now, Oliver, or the lich that you just fought, was his, well, it was his most trusted confidant. And I didn't know this at the time. I've only found this out since I've been, well, dead. He took the crown, and he sent it away somewhere. I don't know where. But those scale things that were on the crown, they weren't there in the first place. They weren't there at the beginning. They were added. They were added afterwards. I told you about the dragon priests before. Well, when the wizards rose up and tried to take the kingdom away from my father and his warriors, they rode into battle on the wyverns, on the, well, they were a kind of dragon. And the great dragon, he fought beside us. He fought against those wizards to stop them destroying this world. And the dragon priests took the crown and they modified it. I think that's the word. They added something to it. The great dragon took one of his own scales, pulled it out of his body, and the dragon priests fashioned it into the shape of these feathers around the top of the crown. I don't know why. I never got a chance to find out, because in that battle my father was killed, And not long after that, his most trusted friend, Oliver, came, took the crown, and killed me. I don't remember it. I think I was sleeping. But there was a huge commotion. And when I woke up, I was like this. But I didn't want to leave my father. My father was my favorite person in the whole world. I don't know what happened to Oliver. I don't know why he wanted so much magic and so much power, but he got it. And it imprisoned him. And I don't know why he was using the crown, because I thought it only showed you dead people. Maybe it shows you something different. Maybe you should try it. With that, the ghost fades away and just drifts. The ball of blue light just spreads out and drifts.
Maybe the golem should try
Well,
but I have
I don't
golem
know,
intelligence too.
you might need a bit of an intellect with it, though.
Gotta listen to Blind, Brian.
What are you trying to say?
No, I read it. I read it.
What if you line it with your beautiful pamphlets? Will that just like pamphlet crown?
Blind, I can actually sense dragons. And if I had activated my ability, I would have been able to sense the lich, but I was an idiot and didn't do that. I could sense it up to a mile. It's one of my abilities. Undead.
Okay. What do you want to do? You have the crown of feathers.
These markings on the casket, these are their caskets?
Yep.
Have we identified what those markings are?
Oh, you can read them.
Okay.
You're gonna want to write this down. I think you're probably all gonna want to write this down.
Alright. Grabbing paper.
So at the foot of each of the sarcophagi, there is these words scribed, and it seems to be the name of the king that rests inside the sarcophagus.
Okay.
So you've got Olan the Mighty, Olan. I'm not giving you these in any particular order. There is Doran, Dorren, the Compassionate. Morgaine, the Loving. Vitrius, Vitrious, Vitrius the Silent.
Vitrous?
Yeah, the word vitreous as in unpleasant. So Vitrius the Silent. Gerard the Dutiful. Matthias the Pious. Harold the Brave, Edward the Conqueror, William the Gilded, a little nod here of inspiration, Tywin the Shrewd, Elgar the Wise, and finally Fitz the Just. The blue light kind of drifts around the room and settles on the foot of one of the tombs. It's all very interesting, isn't it? I don't get to play many games anymore. I talk to the skeletons. They can be fun sometimes. They seem to care a lot about shoes.
Got hats?
I don't think skeletons wear very many hats. I'll ask them next time I see them. My father wanted to be laid here, but there just wasn't enough room in this tomb. But these are all the great kings of our land.
Don't mind me, but what does pious mean?
Staunchly religious.
Oh.
What was the saying on the wall? Sorry.
As you walked in, the inscription on the far wall was, "Comes the destroyer that you have made." Can I get a perception check from everyone, please?
Yes.
I think my eyesight's still a little clouded.
I got a nat 20 plus 6.
Okay.
15 total.
11.
Okay, Dustin, with your nat 20, as you look back around the room, you look back towards the doorway that you came through. You see that over the archway there are some words carved in the stone. And the words begin to glow. What maketh a great king? You read on the stone. And just as you are muttering those words to yourself, a stone slab begins to slide down over the doorway, sealing you into the tomb.
Yes, of course. And our rogue is not here, and we have no way of letting her know.
Am I capable of getting to that before it closes? Shit.
You were at the front. You'd have to
Right.
get past all of us.
Yeah, but it was a larger room at this point, so I technically couldn't.
No,
get past
this
it.
slab came down pretty damn quickly. Sam, you're upstairs. You at the top of the stone stairs, just by the throne. While you're there, kind of watching the sand trickle down, The blue light just appears next to you, and Prince Ilian is sitting on the armrest of the throne. Hello again.
Hi.
Your friends are downstairs. They're going to have so much fun.
I'll be right back. Give me a few minutes.
No worries.
What are they doing?
Well, they are in the tomb of the 12 kings, and the door just shut. Are you enjoying it up here? What are you watching? Oh,
The sand. I was gonna warn them, but I don't know how to turn it off, and now I need to go save my friends.
I think you might be a bit late for that. This is Oliver's throne, isn't it? Well, it wasn't always his throne. He just took it when he got all that power. He liked being up here. He thought it made him feel good. And he kept his guards to watch over him as well. What are you watching for?
Well, I was gonna warn my friends before the sand was full, but guess it doesn't matter now.
What?
Did the door close behind, like where I can't get down there anymore?
You are you asking him or are you asking me as a DM?
Well, all of the above, sure.
Well, they were in the tomb, and I was telling them a little story, and then one of them, the weird one in the long cloak, he read the words over the door, and he read them kind of mumbly and out loud, and then the door shut.
Oh.
So they're in there. They'll have to. They can get out, but they'll have to find a way out, or they'll have to solve the puzzle. It's a great puzzle.
Oh goodness, and there's no way that you can help them at all?
Oh, I could, but what would be the fun in that?
Oh, well, I mean, being able to save the planet from this dragon, maybe? Just maybe.
Well, you know, when I met the dragon, he was really nice. So,
Yeah, when I met the dragon, he was really nice to me as well.
okay, I'll go down there and I'll help them, but not much.
Anything's appreciated.
I've been down here so long, it's just nice to have company. It's nice to have people to talk to.
You should just come with us at the end, but we gotta get out.
You have to get out. I'm stuck here. I can't go anywhere.
So the verbiage over the door was what makes a great king, right?
What maketh a great
maketh
king?
a great king.
Are we back in the room
I'm
now?
almost thinking I may know the solution. I would go over to Doran's sarcophagus.
Okay.
And I try and move the lid.
The lid doesn't move.
It doesn't move.
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
I want to punch the door.
That's
very
all you
golem
think
of you.
about, isn't it?
Pump
Golem
smash. You punch the door. You nothing happens to the door, but you look at your fist and you're thinking, ow?
No door. Door bad.
The door is magical. It's resisting you.
Door hurt.
Door pain.
Well, you forget it. We already tried it. It's magnetically sealed.
Brian, sorry, since I missed, what have you tried to do?
Well, going by the inscription, like,
Yeah.
probably has something to do with sarcophagi.
Yeah.
So, what makes a
About the
true king?
lies.
I went over to Doran the Compassionate sarcophagus. Now, I was going to try and open it, but Omar says he can't open it.
Okay,
So
so
I
maybe that's not
try
it.
examining it.
Okay, you examine the sarcophagi. It was once beautifully carved with very ornate scenes along the side of each of the sarcophagi. Over time, the stone has started to crumble and break down, but you can make out that there's perhaps a story being told on each panel of the sarcophagus, maybe of that king's greatest moment in history or the battle that he may have fought. But the stone has started to deteriorate. There was also what looks like decoration there once upon a time, maybe gold gilting or gold leaf or quality, high quality enamel painting over the entire sarcophagus. But it has basically been reduced to just the component stone. You cannot find anything that might look like a seal or a join in the stone. It's almost as if the stone has melted together over the thousands of years.
If I'm looking at the door, and what's the one to my right? What's the sarcophagus to my right?
That's Olaf the Mighty to your immediate
All
right.
right, I'm gonna try to open that.
Okay, give me a strength check.
That's a 12 plus 4, 16.
You fail. Even you can't separate the stone.
Okay.
You instinctively believe, like the door, this is sealed magically.
Okay. I know it's dumb, but I'm a golem, and I'm dumb. I'm gonna try the next one to my right. Hopefully the other guys are picking up on this.
Same thing. You work your way around the room.
Yeah.
They're all sealed.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna punch. No, I'm just kidding.
So we can try and figure out which one we figure we want to try and open. Physically, it's not going to work. Maybe putting the crown on the sarcophagus is the choice.
Or you put a pamphlet on the pious one. Ta-da!
No, I think that would be more on the shrewd one.
You're right. Yeah. So
The wise sounds like he'd be an interesting choice.
Well,
I have no input here, really.
Just kidding, I don't know any of these yet.
Okay, so, yeah, so it's basically between me and Brian. I mean, Mr. Pump can try and help, but he's I don't
Yeah,
know
and
if
I'm not
he really
there.
has much. Mighty sounds closer to great, but I don't think that's a great king would either be compassionate or loving, wise or just. I don't think a conqueror.
Can you all roll a history check for me, please? I just want to see if any of you might know some of the history behind these kings.
If I just happen to read a book in the library.
Or maybe one in the discussions with the dragon, perhaps?
20.
I got an 18. Oh, wait. Yeah.
This is a
Sam, does Sam need to make this roll?
Sam doesn't. Sam's not there.
what kind
Someone
of
can take my 20.
wisdom?
History.
Oh, right, history, which is
History
intelligence.
is intelligence.
14.
What was yours, Dustin?
18.
Of the names here, you remember hearing stories as a child. These are long, long ago stories, being talked about by the village elders. You remember Vitreous the Silent was a mute. He was unable to speak. He was born that way. All of his communication with his staff were through a complicated series of hand gestures, and it's almost as if he created his own language amongst his servants. He was one of the few kings that hid away entirely from public life, so lots of stories were kind of developed around that. And how he was a recluse, or he was so ugly and hideous that he had to be hidden away from the realm, or that he was such a coward he wouldn't even step out of his room because he was afraid of assassination.
Okay.
As you are struggling with the lids of the sarcophagi, you notice the blue light returns. Your friend is upstairs. She's watching the sound. It's like being at the beach, isn't it? Have you figured it out yet?
I'm wondering if it has to be in an order.
See, I have an idea, but
You know, you're not the first ones to come down here. People have tried before. They didn't succeed. But you lot seem to be quite smart. I'll
Well,
give
if
you
they
a
didn't
clue.
succeed, where are they?
Your friend asked me to give you a clue. Well, she said to help you, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not allowed. But I'll give you a clue. Use the crown. And with that, the blue light disappears.
can I put on the crown?
Well, Brian's holding it at the moment. He's still carrying it.
Maybe because he's pious.
So it allowed me to actually talk with the guys in the sarcophagi.
You don't know anything yet.
Because it sounds like it has the ability to speak with dead.
But he said that it might do something different for you.
Just reading Blind Eye in the chat.
Okay, fine, I'll put it on.
God, I've got to go back 3 pages in my notes now. Wow. Yeah, really dragged that one out, didn't you?
Hey, if it was given to me, it would have been on in a fucking second, okay?
Someone's missing out on all the fun. Right, Brian, can I get an intelligence save from you, please?
I figured as much.
Oh no.
Okay, yeah, I got a 4.
Okay.
No.
You place the
Oh.
crown on your head, and your vision suddenly goes black. You kind of blink, your eyes, trying to. You don't know if this is a side effect of the rust, the cloud that you were enveloped in, but all of a sudden your eyes open, and you seem to be flying over forest land. You can hear the rush of air in your ears, and the of giant wings behind you. What is this? Somebody piggybacks into my mind. You recognize the voice.
No way. Why do you get to be with my sugar daddy and I don't?
With that, you feel like you rear up vertically up into the sky, shooting up through the clouds, hearing the whoomph of the wings behind you, and suddenly you break through the cloud layer, and all you see above you is deep, dark blue skies, and the sun shining in the corner of your vision. Gaze upon this, little mortal, for you will never feel the power that I hold.
I really wish I could have put the crown on.
The rest of you watch the cleric place the crown upon his head, and his legs and body almost fold from underneath him. He just suddenly sits down on the floor. His body is shaking and convulsing while this is happening.
I feel like instinctively I'm gonna try to take the crown off of him.
Okay, you reach down and grab the crown. Brian, in your eyes, you see. You feel as if the dragon has rolled over onto its back, and you're looking up at the night sky, and you see stars like you have never seen before from ground level. Millions upon millions, clouds of stars weaving their way across the skies, and then suddenly you're wrenched back to the room.
Give it back!
In the process, take 4 points of psychic damage. That's not what I meant, silly. The prince is sitting there just excitedly dangling his legs.
Where's
Who did
this?
it show you?
Never mind.
Well, I believe it connected me with our friend that we released.
Oh, the Dragon King. Well, it is his scales that you wear upon your head now. That must be what the priests did to the crown. Very interesting. Anyway, I didn't mean for you to put it on your head, silly. Put it on the tomb. I'll give you a hint. You've got to get 3 of them right. You don't want to get them wrong.
Oh, okay, so the three
And with
traits.
that, he fades out and reappears next to Sam as she's watching the beach get closer and closer.
Wouldn't it be nice if I could be there? Then my friends wouldn't be so dead.
Do you really want to go?
We're not dead yet.
Not quite dead yet.
Do you really want to go?
Feeling better.
Yeah.
The little prince reaches out and grabs hold of your hand. There's a snap sound, and the rest of you suddenly see the rogue appear, sitting next to the prince on one of the sarcophagi.
Hello! I just show up like, anyone need some help?
I've got images
you
of
could have
Michelle
been the sole
Pfeiffer
survivor.
writhing on a piano from the Fabulous Baker Boys all of a sudden. As the rogue
Exactly.
comes
What'd
in.
you say, Brian?
Jamaican whoopee.
Well, I said it might have been that you could have been the sole survivor.
No, I want to go down with my friends.
Go down with the ship.
Yeah.
Oh. So the ones that are standing out to me are a king needs to be compassionate,
Wise.
just, and wise.
Yeah. I think just is pretty important. Okay, you're all dead now then. I agree with those.
So while these guys figure it out, I'm just talking to the chat for a moment. While these guys figure this out, I spent 2 weeks writing this and devising this particular puzzle.
Oh no.
In fact,
We are not safe.
I can mute you
We're
guys.
not safe,
I
guys.
can
We
mute
are
myself and
not
talk to
safe.
the chat. So I'm going to do that for a second.
Okay, yeah, you do that.
While they're discussing, you can't hear me now, can you?
Man.
Unless you're on the stream
Should we
listening.
turn the stream up so we can hear what he's saying?
I could. I had to turn it down.
So
really
yeah,
wanna-
guys. For the guys
I
in
really
the chat,
wanna put the
this
crown on,
particular
even though I
puzzle I
know
spent
that
2
I
weeks
wouldn't.
working on.
I know.
But I really want to put
trying
it
to
on, and, like, as
devise
soon as I hear the
a
dragon's
relatively
voice, be
cunning
like,
way to do
"Friend."
this.
He's like,
I think for
"SpongeBob?"
everyone in the chat now, you've probably figured out what the crown does, as Brian finally has.
Oh, man.
Because it's
Okay,
made of
are
the
you
dragon,
sure about
it allows him
compassionate,
to
though?
communicate directly with the dragon. There are side effects, and there's some bad stuff going on as well.
Apparently, like
But,
Blind Eye said, he's
they
like
have got the
dropped
gist of it.
hints as to what it should.
They need to lay the crown on the heads of
Okay,
3
well,
of the kings that they believe.
I'm just
that's the
saying
thing. When we went back on the
reflect
history,
the
it only went to the
best-
silent.
I say the
Like, he only
best
told us about him.
characteristics of a great ruler.
Yeah, that didn't
Yeah, I
seem
think
very
Brian knew that as
helpful.
well,
It,
but,
it almost eliminated him.
He was the one
Okay.
resisting, and I'm kind of just nudging them in the right direction.
What were the ones that
Because
you were
if they
thinking
hadn't
of,
actually
Brian?
gotten this part of the story done,
Compassionate,
explored
just
this room.
wise.
there would be a huge gaping hole in the story, and they would also not have the skills necessary to continue much further. I would have had to figure out a way of retrospectively giving them these abilities.
I
Right.
agree.
Reactivating the audio now. Are we? By the way, guys, are you
Wise
enjoying
would have
this?
to be a thing.
I said I spent 2 weeks working out this little puzzle, and Brian figured it out
a
pretty
good king
quickly. He
is a
figured out
just
what he
king.
needed to do pretty quickly.
Yes.
Brian knew in the beginning, but screwed it up. What is that?
Compassionate is necessary instead of loving. Silence not necessary. Mighty
The interesting bit,
mighty isn't necessary
I'm still
if you have
muted on
wise
the call.
sometimes.
The interesting bit is not necessarily
Dutiful, though. I think that as well.
traits
And brave. So that's
that the
why I'm
kings
having
have.
a
For
hard
example,
time.
Olaf the Mighty,
No, I
a
don't
mighty king,
Brave.
you tend to associate with warrior style, or
I don't think
maybe
Conqueror.
ruling with an iron
No.
fist.
No.
So
Mighty,
not necessarily a
no.
good thing or a good trait to have in a king. A king that is overly pious and spends all his time talking to his god
One sec.
is not a king that focuses on his people. So there are
Passionate and
dualities in all of these, and I did pick them quite carefully for exactly that reason. Any of these could be good traits of a king.
that's the
They could
problem,
also be very
Eric,
bad.
you see like four
Because
of
if
them
somebody
sticking
is
out.
only
Yeah, right,
known
right.
for being brave, well, that's a
And
warrior
it's
king that's
definitely
always
not-
away
It's
fighting
definitely
wars.
one of
What's
those
he
is
doing
wrong.
in
Yeah.
where he should be looking after his
At
subjects,
least.
for example?
I don't know.
So
that,
for that
like,
reason, it took
okay,
me a while to kind
so
of figure this one out.
The 4 that we're all
Um,
looking at is
But
compassionate.
yeah, we'll see how they get
loving,
on with this one,
wise,
because
just.
if
Is
they
that
get
right?
Yeah.
the wrong
Yeah.
sarcophagus, things
If
might
we're
go a
looking
little
at
bit
it
sideways.
from the right angle.
Anyway, I'm going to
Yeah,
jump back in on
right.
the Zoom call now. Right, how are we doing, guys?
You want to go back and talk with chat some more?
That's how
It's
we're
Dad.
doing.
You guys are supposed to go on the phone and then get away from me. I don't know what that means, but
Don't worry.
don't worry about it. Okay, I won't worry about it.
Okay,
Forget
Mr. P,
about it.
Give me a
Forget
second,
about
I'll
it.
have to open up a browser to see. I don't know how I can see whispers from within OBS. I don't think I can.
Are you in your chat?
No, I'm just in. I've only got OBS up.
Oh.
Let me pop open a browser. Give me 2 moments.
Yeah, because I don't think you can check that there.
Did we decide what we were doing?
And we're back.
Trying to figure out the 3 that. That's what we're deciding.
Man,
Do we all agree on one of them at least? Because we
yeah,
could
that's what I was
try it
thinking.
out.
If we could do one.
So I think we all agreed that it's not mighty, loving, silent, dutiful, pious, brave, conqueror, gilded, or shrewd. Possibly.
No, we're not in agreement on that.
What did you think?
I would say we all agree on wise. Correct?
I
It's a good
agree.
thing we're using Zoom because I've definitely sowed Discord in this group, haven't I?
Hey,
Ba-dum-tsh.
this guy. So, can we all agree on wise?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we give that a shot?
Yes, sir.
So, you're going for Elgar the Wise?
Yeah.
That's a feeling I get in my stomach.
So
See, of the 4, that's the one I'm not sure about.
Okay, what's the other one you're thinking?
So, just.
Yeah, that was one of the ones we were talking about. And
See,
then what's your
justice-
third? Just
Did you
is not a thing?
No, just is one that I'm a little
Okay.
iffy
Oh.
on.
See, we both think compassionate, loving, and then we're not sure about the third. And you think loving is out. So 3
I
of
don't
us.
think loving should.
So we all agree on 4, and we're all like 3 of
Different
them.
on, yeah.
So do we go with the other one then? Compassionate? That's the one we all seem to be a little more.
I feel like compassion is important. Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Let's
Okay, guys in chat, this is some high quality entertainment right here, isn't it? You
Look
can
at
almost
Omar,
feel.
though.
You can almost
I hate
feel
it.
the pain.
I hate
No,
it.
what I hate is the fact that I think there's also part of me thinks that all of these are wrong. Like
That
it's just
all of
this.
them are wrong.
Yeah, it's just that one thing where Omar
Yeah,
would
Mr.
just
P,
throw
I
it in
agree.
there where the obvious answer
That is pretty much the
not,
most obvious one.
But it's also
um,
Omar that would make the obvious answer
The
answer.
clues, and
Hoping
I
you
have
know.
dropped clues to the solution of this, would be all the little things the prince said to describe his father. Those are the clues. But I doubt that they would have remembered his descriptions from last episode. But there have been clues all the way through as to what the answers are.
Oh no.
Right, well, Sam's cheating because she's listening to the stream.
I was already on.
Okay,
you were
what are
the
we
only
going for,
one.
guys? What's your first choice?
I've already.
Do we want to go with Brian's original?
Mm-hmm.
With compassionate?
All right. We did.
Just
Okay.
do it. Just do it.
We gonna die.
So I set the crown on Doran's sarcophagus.
Okay.
Okay, so you walk over to the sarcophagus of Doran the Compassionate, and you lay the crown upon his head. The sarcophagus begins to glow.
You have chosen.
You see the gold gilting suddenly start to reappear. You see the beautiful enamel paint start to reappear. And the little prince pops back into your view. Well done.
You have chosen.
Excellent, guys.
You've got
Excellent.
one right.
You have chosen wisely.
Yeah.
Speaking of wise.
Passionate, wise, and just.
That's sounding pretty solid.
Yeah.
He was a
I
good
still
king.
think brave is a thing.
Doran the Compassionate was a good king. He didn't rule with an iron fist. He listened to his people. And even when crimes were committed or bad things were done, he gave them a fair chance. He was remembered for being a fair person. Which one now?
I think that one's out. That one's out.
Okay, I'm muting over there.
I know.
Are you guys still
We can
finding
always
the
go through
little prince's
and
voice
see
epically
which
creepy?
ones
Because
we-
that's not what I was going for originally.
Actually think that's a no-go. I hear myself stronger now.
Okay. So
Well,
I think Mighty
Edward,
is out.
I think, is the no-go.
Yeah,
Like
Conqueror's
Conqueror.
Yeah, right.
out. Mighty.
No.
That sounds similar to me.
Yeah.
That I think that's out. I think
I don't think it's
Brave
Mighty either.
is out.
You think Brave's out? That was the only one I was curious about.
Yeah, but how is that? That sounds more like somebody that was a warrior.
I guess.
See, the thing they have remembered,
So
but
Loving
I
and
don't
Silent
think
would
they're
be
really
gone then?
focusing, is that
Because I don't think
Well,
they would do Loving and
while they're doing
Compassionate.
all this, I'm actually running a
Or do you think
clock
they would?
in real time in my head
Loving
as to how
isn't
much the
giving
tomb
one.
is
I'm
filling
not
up with
eliminating
sand
it, but
right
I'm
now,
not saying
Yeah.
it's-
and whether
Okay,
they're
so
going to
we'll
have to
keep
dig their
Loving
way
in.
out of this
There's-
tomb,
there's-
because the
Dutiful's
way
gone,
they
though?
came in is that there's two exits.
Pious, I think.
The
is
way they
gone.
came in and the door
Okay.
opposite, and that sand is
Yeah, 'cause I don't
slowly
think
creeping
Dutiful
down
is
that tomb.
applicable either.
I'd give them about another
So
30
Dutiful,
minutes
Conqueror,
to
Gilded,
figure this
and
out
Shrewd.
before they're going to have to
Do
dig
any
their
of you
way
think
out
any of
and
those
or
could be
risk
it?
being
The
trapped in
Conqueror's
here.
definitely out. I think that's the first one out. Shrewd,
TikTok, guys.
I think, is out.
Remember, you're on a time limit.
I know.
Mhm.
So I think Fits the Just is the next one.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I set the crown on Fitz the Just.
Okay. You lift the crown off of Doran's tomb. The gilding and the decorations stay. The glow of the tomb stays. And you place the crown onto the head of Fitz the Just. Fitz's sarcophagus suddenly springs into the glowing light, and the gilding and the enamel paintwork suddenly reappear as if it had just been painted today. 2 for 2, says the prince.
Okay.
It's exciting.
Okay, so we have what we think is between Loving. Did we cross Brave off, or were we
I
keeping
think it's
that up?
between Loving and Wise.
Blind Eye, yeah.
I think so
the
too.
hourglass
I'm on Wise.
thing
I'm
comes
also
up
on
quite
Wise.
a lot in the game. Sam encountered death in the previous episode because she had a near-death
What say you,
experience. But but that means Death was having a near Sam experience.
If you're
So-
wise,
Hourglasses do fit. They're quite
I
a
think
common
it's
theme
Wise
in the Discworld in general.
for the same reason that I think Eric
remember, this
thinks
is based
it's
on the
not
works of the
Loving,
author
is that
Terry
they
Pratchett.
wouldn't have Loving and Compassion.
Hourglasses are a very constant
wanna-
theme. Time is a very
I think
constant
Loving
theme.
Because
And I wanted
is-
to slowly have that kind of
To me,
time passing, sand
compassionate
filling an hourglass
is the
feeling
controlled
in
version
there
of loving.
without it feeling too
Like
much
loving
like
is
the
too
mummy
much.
or
that's
like an
what I was
Egyptian
thinking.
tomb
Loving
that
is
just
too
fills with
much,
sand.
so I didn't think it
I
could
thought about
be.
doing water, but
Because
unfortunately,
that's
the
not
water
the
would
goal
have
of
to
them.
have
Is
come
to be
from the River
compassionate,
Ankh.
but to be loving.
Yeah.
That's not
And
their.
on
That's
a
not their
bad
be all
day,
end all
Right.
goal.
you could probably
Right.
walk
Like
across
he
the
might
river
be loving towards his family
without breaking
and
the
then he just
crust.
ruled
So water was really out.
for his
Compassion.
family and
Um,
not the people.
Mud was an
True.
option, but not that evil.
But if you're
Yet.
wise, you could be a lot of different things. Like you can become mighty because you're wise. You do the wise things.
Right.
That's the only reason I think that would work.
Yeah. I think Wise.
So we've got 3 that think Wise. Brian has not. Have you said?
What do you?
I
think
already
there's
said
some-
mine.
He
Okay,
said wise originally. So.
Well,
I
then-
got two
then let's-
two already.
Yeah, right. Then
Yeah,
let's do it.
Brian's all good.
Let's do it then. Let's
Let's
go.
do it. Okay, wise it is. Hopefully.
Okay, lift the crown and go over to Elgar's the Wise sarcophagus.
Saruman the Wise.
Okay, you lift the crown, you place it on the head of Elgar the Wise. The sarcophagus glows.
Yes.
The gilding and the enamel decoration come back, and the crown begins to glow. As you watch, you see
High
3
five, Brian.
ghostly shapes sit up from the
For Sinjin.
sarcophagus and slowly slide down to their feet, standing before you. The three kings. You chose very well. That was very clever of you. You're the first ones
We
to solve
chose
that.
wisely.
These were three of the greatest kings of our realm, and my father always took inspiration from these three. He said that no one thing could define a man, that compassion, wisdom, and ruling with a just hand all came hand in hand, so to speak. He always said that you must remember the people. Your subjects are the most important. You are doing your duty to your subjects. You serve them. You are responsible for them. When war comes, you defend them. When famine strikes, you feed them, because they are the kingdom. My father was a very wise man, and I miss him very much. The three ghostly kings gesture towards the door, and the stone slab begins to slide up, opening the door. I won't see you again here, but you've done well. Thank you for talking with me. Thank you for keeping me company. And thank you for the entertainment.
You know I'd bring you with us if I could, buddy. I already said so.
You have far greater things with you to accompany your journey. You just don't know it yet.
I don't know. I never got my nail file back.
I want to say, friend.
Mm-hmm.
The prince pops into existence in front of the golem and lays a hand on the golem's chest where the heart would be.
I want to
Eric,
be a real boy.
You feel a warmth spreading through you.
Whoa.
Not fire, not heat. You were born of dragon fire, remember.
Right.
You know fire. This is a warmth. And for the first time ever, you begin to cry.
And his heart grew 5 sizes that day.
All the emotions of your life suddenly break upon you like a wave crashing on a beach.
We just all go over and start hugging the golem. We're like, hey, buddy.
Prince Ilian pulls his hand back. I can't make you real, but I can make you feel. And if you can feel, then maybe you have a soul. And the prince disappears.
I was waiting for the rhyme to come in there.
That was such an emotional moment.
Yeah, we're not going to ruin that by spitting some Ilian rhymes, are we? TikTok, guys.
Yeah. Sand.
We gotta go. Out the door that opened up.
We gotta go.
Come on, guys, help me!
We gotta go. We gotta go right now.
Eric,
did
you
anyone
are...
do any exploring downstairs, or did we just like
have some crazy shit happen and then have to go?
Right now, Eric, you're battling with so many emotions that you didn't even know existed.
Right, yeah.
There are thoughts flickering through that little chem of yours that you never thought you would have. There's anger, there's sorrow, there's guilt.
Yeah.
Because the first thing that sprang to mind was the bun buns. And now guilt and waves of grief wash over you.
Just me, like a good 10-second pause and then just bun.
The rest of you see the golem sink down to the floor.
What if
And
I use my prestidigitation spell and make a bun in front of him so he's happy?
it doesn't work that way. You'd have to use
I can
illusion
I
to
can
do
have
that.
an illusion image.
Do you have the do you have the spell illusion?
No, I have
Okay.
no.
Do I
Um,
need to roll any sort of like constitution?
You are the rest of you are watching a man-shaped creature made of clay that is nearly 9 feet tall and 5 feet wide cry. Until
Now he's
recently,
suffering from clinic depression.
you'd never seen a golem. You'd never seen stone animated in this way. Until recently, you'd never heard of a golem that could talk. And now you're watching a golem cry.
Just
Now,
put the crown on his head. We gotta see what happens.
I'm just muting for their sake, for the guys in the chat. For those of you that know,
What did he just
What
do?
did you want to know?
for those of you that
I don't
know
know.
Where did
Asimov's
he
rule
go?
of
Okay.
robotics,
Ah,
He's talking
I'm
with streamers.
going pushing
Yeah.
heavily down
I don't
the
like that.
AI
No, I don't either.
route here.
I think we should put the crown on your head
Right.
like you wanted
Okay.
in the
TikTok,
first place.
guys. TikTok.
I don't think we have time for that.
I mean, we can always.
Well,
we
I
can
don't think
always do
there's
that
really
later.
a point of putting the crown on his head. I just put it back in the pouch.
Okay, you stow the crown in the pouch.
That's also something we could
Just
try
touching
later
the crown, Brian, you can still feel like a latent heat of energy. It's like when you get close to something that's you get close to a fire. You're not even close yet, but you can feel the heat radiating off it, and that's the kind of energy that this crown is giving off. You stuff that into your pouch.
Yep.
You guys going back up?
What were the kings actually there? By the way, did you say they stepped out of the sarcophagus or something, or did I?
They sat up as ghostly shapes and stood
Oh, okay.
before you.
Can we?
Not
talk
really
to them?
interactive, I don't think.
No.
Cool.
Disembodied spirits.
As you leave the room and proceed back down that narrow corridor, the rogue is the last one left in the room. Sam, you turn and take one last look at Prince Elian, and he gives you a little wave. The remaining 3 kings bow, and standing just behind Prince Elian, you see another ghostly shape appear, with its hand laid upon the prince's shoulder, who also bows.
It is Dad.
That's so cute. I hope it's his dad.
Or
Did
is it the
you
Lich?
get a good look at Brian's medallion when he put it on? The
I
one
don't
he took
think
off
we
the one he took off King Olaf's sarcophagus in the other tomb.
I don't think I was in that room, was I? I don't remember being in the room when you put that on.
If you had gotten a good look at it, you would recognize the medallion on the ghost. On this 4th ghost. So yes, it's the prince's father.
It's his father. Yeah.
You you make your way back up the spiral stone stairs, and it's a good thing that you didn't pick one of the others, because if you had, I can tell you this now, if you had laid it upon one of the wrong sarcophagi, the king would have risen as a wraith and attacked you. So you would have had to have done battle with a wraith.
Make sure you make your saving throws.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey, I'm level 1 again.
you head back up to the up the spiral staircase, back to the stone throne, and instantly you see that there is a lot more sand than you realized. The sand has started to progress much further down the hallway, the doorways that were casting their light onto the floor are almost completely submerged now in the sand, and there is more sand pouring from other holes in the ceiling that have given way under the pressure.
Get those shovels out, Sam.
Um,
Can we make it if we run?
You can make it, but you're running through sand, and it's going to be difficult. Which way are you going to go? Are you going to go back the way you came, or through the other doorway? Remember, the way you came was filled with those cracks in the rock, the crevasses that created the corridors.
Right.
There's a couple of switchbacks there. There's a pool of liquid that we don't want to dive into.
Again.
But it's so fun.
It wasn't.
Splish splash.
Maybe we should continue.
Column's
forward.
like, no hugs.
Bad memories go that way. Let's continue
God,
the other way.
We'd
Let's
get
go the
into
other
the
way.
room and I would just break down.
Yeah. So the other way is where the sand is filling, correct?
Well, they're both filling because the doorways are directly opposite each other. So those rooms are filling up. This whole throne room is filling up fast.
How large would my sensory effects be? Small bits, or could it be large bits?
How do you mean?
I'm just asking about like gusts of wind and stuff. Would it be small bits or large bits?
It'll be small. You
Okay.
you could create a very localized light breeze that could maybe turn the page of a book, for example. But
not a large gust that could move sand out of the way of our door.
prestidigitation wouldn't do something like that. You would need
it's a baby.
you need like a 4th or a 5th level spell
Yeah.
to do that kind of movement.
Laughing at me.
So
And if any of you are thinking about Dumbledore in the Horcrux cave, that's like level 10 magic and above.
yeah.
I have, I can't use my 4th level spell.
So walking or running on sand is difficult terrain.
Okay, you begin to run down the stone steps next to the throne, and as you're running down, you see that the weight of the sand has started to collapse parts of the wall. To your left, you can see a small room that's opened up. There was probably a door or some kind of secret passageway that's collapsed under the weight of the sand. This is within 15 feet of the throne. On the right, you can see something similar. Whatever doorway was there has collapsed in, and the sand is slowly starting to fill. Only it may be knee height at this point. As you move further down towards the doors, you can see that you're now 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 pillars down is in line with the door that you came in. And the sand would be almost at head height if you were standing on the floor. So it's not quite up and covering those arched doorways. You can still see little glimmers of light, but there's not much of the arch left. So if you want to get through there, you're going to have to dig.
Yeah, we would have to grab shovels. Okay, I'm gonna grab my shovel out of the
I can
bag.
also. I got big
True.
hands.
Okay, Mr. Pump basically takes his bucket-like hands and just dives down into the sand like a puppy in a rose bush. Right. Eric, I'm going to need strength rolls from you. Give me 2, please, with advantage.
Perhaps like a bun.
You gonna hug the sand, are you?
Yeah.
Whoop. My dice got away from me.
So I said the shovels like 5 minutes ago, right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so the first one was 18.
Okay.
Plus my strength. So 22. Second one got a 14. 8, so 14. So 18 total on the second one.
Okay. So you see Mr. Pump dive down into the sand, almost laying flat on the sand and starting to scoop the sand out from away from the door. And you can see he's making really fast progress. But as soon as he scoops out one hand of sand, the sand behind it starts to backfill. And you're all going to need to work really fast on this one. Sam and Eric, can I get strength rolls from both of you as well, please? Because you've got the shovels.
Sam and Brian.
Oh, sorry, Sam and Brian, sorry.
Yeah, if I use a shovel, it's just a waste of one hand.
Just 14.
That's like me holding up a little plastic spoon compared to a fist. It's
Right.
like-
Yeah.
Okay, I got 21.
Mr. Pump also doesn't have to worry about breaking a nail.
Yeah.
Sam?
14.
Okay. So you both start to dig in, pun intended, and start clearing. So as Mr. Pump scoops a huge handful of sand out of the way, you can see that the sand that's already behind the doorway starting to backfill, and you go in with the shovels and start scraping close to the ceiling and pulling it back so that Mr. Pump can dive in there with two great big bucket hands and tear the sand out. The speed at which Mr. Pump is working now is staggering both of you. There's these rooster plumes of sand being thrown up behind him like some racing buggy darting through the desert. And very quickly you see that there is enough of a gap opening up that you can start squeezing through. But the sand is backfilling from in front of you and from behind you, and Mr. Pump has to keep moving to stop that little cavity from filling back up. Sam,
Pump's
you
starting to
squeeze
worry
through
about Mr.
first. There's just enough room for you to squeeze through and out the other side, and you can see that there's a small. You're now at the top of a set of stairs, very similar to the ones in the doorway that you came in with. You start digging here. You start digging and throwing the sand up onto the platform behind you to try and clear some of that space. Dustin, you're able to kind of wiggle through, kind of like swimming your way across the surface of the sand. So slowly followed by Brian, who's like paddling his way through with the shovel. Mr. Pump, on the other hand, is going like a full-on dredging machine at this point. The likes that even the Burj Khalifa would not have seen. And he comes basically burrowing through the sand, almost swimming in a front crawl motion through the sand, throwing sand out behind him as he goes. You all assemble on the platform. It's just like a little landing between the staircases, and that bends around to your left, and you can see more stairs going up. The sand is still filling. All the sand that you removed is starting to backfill through that archway again, and you can see where you are, the sand is still rising. I wouldn't hang around, guys.
Yeah, if
Yeah, I was
everyone's
gonna say,
through, then
we're
we
gonna
should
keep
be.
moving.
Yeah, we gotta hit the stairs because I think that's the only thing that it
Yeah.
gave us was the staircase.
Okay, you head up the staircase. There's another tight little archway that was once bricked up, but the bricks have crumbled and fallen down. The rogue's going first, I'm taking.
Yep.
Yep. You dart through the doorway. There's plenty of room for you to get through. And you see the alcove where you took a rest the other day. And you see the two skeletons waving at you from the other side.
Hey.
Hello.
It's our friends again. They must be back for more fashion advice. My dear, you look like you've spent some time at the beach. Gets in all the cracks, doesn't it?
Each one. We got your job done.
Okay, so from where you are, you can go down the small set of stairs, and that brings you out into that main corridor. And then you've got that long corridor going down to your left, which takes you to the double stairs, which will lead you back up to the temple. So are you just going to peg it?
I'd say so.
Okay, the rest of the party kind of rumble in behind you. Mr. Pump doesn't have time to squeeze, he just rams through the wall. Most of the brickwork starts crumbling and there's a small cave in behind him. Are you going to let the skeletons know about the sand?
Yeah.
Goodness, dear, I thought you were going to save us the hassle. Now we're going to spend an eternity sweeping all that up. Go on with you.
They disappear back into their alcove and emerge carrying 2 brooms.
Don't forget the dustpan.
Right.
Yes, quite.
Okay, you walk down the stairs off this little platform and along that main large double wide corridor that had all the torches glowing along it. You're back into the kind of the cathedral proper now. And in the far corner you've got the double stairs that lead up to ground level. You pile up through the stairs. There's sand draining out of every pocket, out of every fold of fabric, slowly draining out of what little hair you may have. And you see the big oak door that the priest locked behind you. At this time, politeness is mostly gone, and Mr. Pump just walks through the wooden door.
Yes.
There is a ragged pump shape in the door, like some kind of Looney Tune, and behind it a very alarmed-looking priest. Oh my goodness, you're back, and you're alive! Oh, praise Allah! Oh bugger!
So I'm kind of wondering how the gods feel about us right now, because didn't they like try to kill us because of the whole gold room thing?
Was there much down there?
A little bit.
there was a few snags.
Yeah.
Well, to be quite honest with you, now that you're alive, you're the only ones that have come back alive. Ever. We don't usually have to open the door again. Well done. Anyway, lots to do, very busy. You please see yourselves out.
But you gave us a job.
Oh. Yes. That's usually just to get them in.
I'm gonna put my
Yeah.
hand closer to his
Since we
face.
came out.
There is the sound of what sounds like a sledgehammer striking solid concrete as Mr. Pump does this. The priest reaches behind him and pulls out a very limp and very worn-looking coin purse. I'm afraid this is all,
I'm just gonna grab it.
You snatch it out of his hand, almost taking a finger off in the process. And Mr. Pump goes stamping down through the temple and through the doors again. There's a huge crunching sound as the wood just gives way under the sheer presence of the golem walking right through it.
Can you imagine being the rest of us just looking at each other being like, I'm sorry for him? Like, what do we do? What do we do about that?
Just apologize
He
and
does
keep
that
going.
a lot.
You get used to it.
He seems quite emotional, but that would be a silly thing to say, wouldn't it? The priest,
Yeah.
the priest, kind of scurries off somewhere and starts digging around in a cupboard for a broom. You emerge back into the city of Ankh-Morpork. It is the middle of the night. It's been raining. You have discovered some incredible new smells the moment you stepped out. This is a city that does horrible things to water, the least of which is drink it. To your left, you can see the university spire rising up to the sky. And I think that's where we shall end today.
All right.
So, you're still
Like it.
alive. Well done.
Yay, go us! Woo!
Yeah, I'm glad. Actually, Brian, I'm really impressed at how quickly you picked up on that puzzle. Because I wasn't attempting to make it fiendish. It's still supposed to be fun, but I was expecting you to get at least one or two wrong and end up in a battle at some point. So
Oh,
very
really?
well done there. You're all up to level 7. Eric, you are up to level 8. And Brian, I'm going to put you a whisker away from level 8. Because you did incredibly well in the Tomb of the 12 Kings. As I said, it took me 2 weeks to write all of that puzzle
Yep.
and the backstory that went with it. So, yeah, hopefully that explains a lot about what's going on in the game as a result of releasing the dragon. And the Crown of Feathers is an incredibly powerful artifact.
I like how you put it on.
Well, he said use
I know,
the crown. I'm going
Use
like,
the crown. He's
am I
like,
gonna
all right.
regret this or not?
Well,
But I'm kind of thinking that the intelligence check was see if I kind of slipped into his mind without him realizing it.
No, that's just pure psychic damage, because if you'd failed that, you would have taken a hell of a lot of psychic damage. And you would not have been able to wear the crown ever again. So that was the crown bonding to you in a way,
So,
and you making a psychic link with a god. So you can imagine what that's going to do to your feeble brains.
so it was a good thing I ripped the crown off of him.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
There were plenty of clues dotted around the game. As I said, I've spent a lot of time kind of crafting this together, and the three of the kings that you picked, those were the 3 things that Prince Ilian described his father as in this episode and in the last episode. So they should have been good hints as to which ones you needed to choose anyway. If you had kept that crown on, and again, the prince told you the story of what happened to his father when he kept the crown on for too long. If you had kept that crown on for too long, there would have been side effects. So yes, using it does give you an ability, in this case to link with the dragon, but it's an ocean of a mind compared to your little raindrop of a brain. And the amount of power that you're linking to is murderous, let alone overwhelming. But you have a link to the Great Dragon.
Well, once you said that the crown was like the leaf one, I was wondering if it had any relation to the leaf necklace that we found. Because it was in the same place.
Wasn't a leaf. The necklace was a very crude, stylized feather.
Oh, feather, not
Yeah.
a leaf. You're right.
They're not related. The two items. The two
Which
items
makes
are not
sense now that
related.
it's a feather, not a leaf.
But also that is known as the crown of feathers, so I can understand either way
Yeah.
why you would think of, but they aren't related. What I would suggest that you do is you're going to have to find, in the next episode we'll cover all this, but we'll have to find you an inn so that you can bed down. You can't level up until you've had a long rest. So you've got to sleep all of this off. We'll give you a long rest. You're all leveling up. At least one level. And I think for most of you, level 7 is where you start getting stats. It's different for fighters because the order is a little different. I normally play fighters. But if you level up as per the player's handbook, Sam will schedule a call to go through this, but you kind of know how this works now. As far as stats, ability increases, we're doing ability increases, no feats. Because feats are just adding a layer of complexity that I don't want in the game. I'd rather you have the abilities, because my game is still puzzle and character focused rather than combat. And the vast majority of the feats that are in the manual are combat feats. So if you were to take them, you'd be wasting the opportunity to level your stats up. Where you are being granted extra abilities or extra skills or extra magic spells, try and keep them within the realm of what your character has experienced. So don't just suddenly learn Fireball, for example, because you haven't been exposed to any fireballs, apart from Sam's occasional accident. You have learned other things on the adventure. So maybe being able to talk to the dead could be a skill that you acquire or a spell that you acquire because you've had that experience. But you've not had experience with earth magic yet. So try and keep it on character when you're picking your abilities. What I would suggest for next episode is you do need to get down to the docks and find out how much this passage is going to cost you. Because it is a long old journey from where you are to the Dragonwatch Isles. We're looking at between 3 and 4 weeks of sailing. And that's with favourable winds.
Holy.
So it's a
That's
long...
a lot.
Consider this an Atlantic crossing by Columbus. So you're looking at almost a 30-day voyage. So not only do you have to
That's a
charter
long
the ship
freaking time.
and the entire crew for 30 days, you also have to stock the ship with enough food and water to make that journey. Which is why I said when you first got here, that's why I said it's going to be a horrifically expensive journey to charter a ship, because no captain in their right mind wants to go anywhere near the Dragonwatch Islands, let alone that close to the rim of the disc. So, we'll pick up next episode. Are we sticking to the 2-week schedule?
Yeah, that works for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll pick up the next episode. We'll get you guys leveled up. We'll find you at we'll probably find you at an inn somewhere, getting drunk and having lots to eat, and not telling tall tales, because that's the worst thing you could do right now is talk about what you've seen and what you've done. But there needs to be a ballad of the Bun Buns.
Yeah.
Somebody's singing about it, and I'm just over in a corner, just crying, weeping. Bun
Fight
bun.
Club rules.
Sam, you've got somebody to raid?
Yep.
Okay, for everybody in chat, thank you very, very much for joining. I hope you've enjoyed the game today. For all those of you that are subbed, idiots. What a waste of money. But thank you nonetheless. I've only been an affiliate for a week, so I'm gonna try and see what I can do with the stream. I'm gonna have to talk to a lot of people about what I can do with this, but setting up Streamlabs and redeeming things was never an intention for this, because most of my streams going forward are going to be either this or a bit of gaming or me in the workshop. Yes, Mike, you've kind of caught the tail end of the stream, I'm afraid.
It's pretty clear what?
We're just about to jump out and do a raid.
I know. We do need a Bun Bun emote.
As always, oh yeah, there's got to be a Bun Bun emote. There has to be.
Okay, hold on.
As always, I'm going to keep the clip of today's game up on my Twitch, but I'm also going to be uploading it to my YouTube channel, which is in the link will be in the description. So if you want to catch up on the previous episodes, you can watch them on YouTube, or you can watch them on here as well. But thank you very much, everyone, for subbing and for joining us tonight. Thank you to our players, Brian, Eric, Dustin, and Sam. You finally
Just so you could pick and choose which one you'd prefer.
yes, the raid of the bun buns. Right, yeah, everybody kind of copy and paste that if you can. And we're going to go off and see who we see in White Wolf.
Yep.
And show
He's
her
making a
some love.
Pikachu cake.
Show her some bun crushing love.
Yep.
Okay. Have a good night, everybody, and I will see you on the next one.
You got it.
Yep.